Hello, collegiate Valorant fans. It is a good time of year around these parts. You may recognize these lovely faces because we are coming back at you for some CF1 collegiate Valorant action for our fall 2021 season. And me, Beanies, joined alongside Jag, are going to be bringing in the new year of CF1 with some absolute bangers of a match.
Yeah, absolutely. We got two amazing series tonight, and right off the bat, we're going to see a new team in action with Ottawa University. And you and I, Beanies, we thought this might be a battle of Canada. Unfortunately, Ottawa is only from Kansas, but this new team has a very strong esports program, very known in the collegiate Call of Duty scene, and they're going to be going up such a tough matchup tonight, up against a huge foe in CF1. Two second place finishes in the spring, as well as in the fall tournament from 2020, University of Waterloo. They are a force to be reckoned with. And then later on tonight in that Western Conference, we got San Jose State going up against the University of Houston, two teams that also made the playoffs in the spring.
We have some recognizable teams coming back here for the inaugural evening of CF1 action. And folks, we may be the same CF1, but we are going to have a little bit of a different look for this season, as we're going to have a change of what matches are going to end up being streamed. We're going to focus on streaming the Immortal and the Radiant tiered teams that we have in CF1. But simultaneously, we do have our Diamond and lower ranked teams competing on the same nights. As you can see, we have a 5-week round robin happening every single Tuesday starting this week, October 5th. And with the prize pool for the Diamond and below coming in at 3K, our Radiant and Immortal prize pool is coming in at $7K. Now that's a lot of cash to be looking at. That's a lot of money, especially for a college student. And all you got to do is click some heads. You know, I say that, but Jag, that's a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, it is for sure. I mean, with these teams, like you just said, Radiant and Immortal, that's some of the best players in this game. Some of these players maybe will consider going pro in the future, depending on how this goes, depending on how well they can develop over time. And all these teams are on scholarships, so all of these players are already getting a bit of aid to afford college, as well as being able to do what they love. And now to be able to compete for even more money, there's a lot on the line here, Beanies.
Yeah, and everybody knows that they love the bragging rights in collegiate Valorant to be able to say that you've beaten the best of the best, especially coming off the heels of a fantastic summer for college Valorant, where we got to see a few recognizable faces represent CF1 competitors. I'm talking about our teams that we're seeing later tonight between UW Gold and SJSU. We've had a few friendly faces there, but let's move over to the maps here, Jag, because we do have our maps available to us, folks. You can take a look at what the 3 maps chosen are, and we should note that there was a ban phase that came out beforehand, and in this ban phase, we did have Fracture, but that was quickly banned out.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that Fracture wasn't one of the first bans, personally. Like, I'm just not a fan of it. I don't know, maybe these other teams were considering it for a moment. The newest map in Valorant has a very different style to it, where you start is very different than the other maps in the game. It actually made it to the second ban phase, but it was not chosen overall. It is going to be Bayern we're starting out with, and that was Ottawa's pick. Waterloo gets to pick defense. So we'll have to see how that ends up. I'm not surprised about Ascent and Icebox being in the map pool at all. It seems like those are kind of the standard what you see in competitive Valorant nowadays, especially Ascent. That has been a staple for quite a while. Icebox has kind of sneaked its way in. Bind is the one that you don't expect to see as much. It still is there a few times. I would say Bind or Haven. So I'm assuming that Ottawa probably has something up their sleeves if they want to pick this map first.
Well, they better have something up their sleeves, Jag, because they're going to be going up against the second place finishers of CF1 competition back in the spring. But UW Gold doesn't have the same exact roster coming in today. We're going to see the return of Vexinus, former just Vex for short, if anybody recognizes him, a mainstay of this UW Gold lineup. But outside of Vex, we are seeing a lot of new faces. The likes of Light Edits, Prim, Chinese Shrug, and Kip coming in here, with notable names like Toph and Damo coming in on the bench. So they're going to be taking a step back. UW Gold has these new rookies coming in, and they are taking the mantle and running with it here. And I'm excited to see what they put out here in this map 1 on Bind.
So am I. Sometimes you got to switch things up. You got to bring in new blood to try to see if you can get over that hump. Because like you said, they got second place against UCI in the spring. In our previous tournaments back in the fall, before it was a league, the kickoff tournaments, they got second place there. They weren't able to get all the way over the hurdle. They've come so close so many times now, and maybe this swap up will be the difference maker. But at the same time, you got to worry about synergy. When you play together for such a long time, you can really build up trust with one another. and now they have new players coming into the mix. We'll have to see if they can still play at that high level they were before. My guess is they will, but there might be some growing pains early on.
Well, fortunately, these teams have had a little bit of time to get settled into their rosters. We are starting off on October 5th, so a lot of these universities and a lot of these students have been back at school getting used to the life that they have as students, getting used to the roster changes, the new lineups that they may have, and they're going to be dealing with. And hopefully, they are getting acclimated with any of the recent changes that may have come into Valorant. I know this upcoming patch that we're dealing with is going to be a little bit of a light one, but not too long ago, I did see that we were getting a few changes here and there from everybody's favorite agent Jet. I may be misspeaking, but did that actually end up on live, or was that just PBE?
It did end up going live. She was nerfed a bit. Her Blade Storm now cannot reset if she uses her right click, which is all of her blades at once. Her Cloud Smokes are only 2 now as opposed to 3, so I would say the Blade Storm nerf is probably the more important one. Cloud Smokes haven't been the most essential part of her kit anyway. And this really hasn't changed that much. I've casted a few different leagues in the last month or so, and Jet has still been played regularly. I would say in double duelist comps, she has become more of a specialist in the hard carry. I would say Reyna has more taken over that role of being the carry in a double duelist composition. But the other nerf that came through that I think was a big one was Skye, and I've seen a lot less Skye now. Her Guiding Light not nearly as impactful. She only has 2 now, and I've just seen a lot less of her nowadays. I feel like she was so impactful for so long. She was so great at getting on to points, and now she's not there.
Yeah, she was really oppressive, especially when you brought her onto a map like Breeze, or I'd even argue Fracture for that matter. When you have the ability to control the information with Skye, and I mean, Fracture has, 4 ultimate orbs to gather up and just get nonstop ultis out of there, but we're going to realign, look back at bind. Skye's probably not going to be coming out here until Foe may have heard a thing or two we were saying, and the first lock-in we see from Ottawa Gold is going to be Foe taking in the Skye. Jag, I know it's the first lock-in, but how are you feeling about that quick Skye from Ottawa?
It's not the worst pick in the world, especially because they are going to be starting an attack, so this makes a lot of sense to me. They want to get onto point pretty quickly. They want to have some sustain once they get on there. I mean, it makes sense really well with the Omen as well. Try to get a Paranoia and then a Guiding Light. That's a lot of CC, a lot of ways to enter onto a point, and the Viper as well. All of those things really great at controlling space, and then you got a really powerful duelist in Raze. On the other hand, it looks like they're going to be playing for a pretty strong comp on the side of Waterloo. I think the biggest thing is they're playing for defense with the Cypher instead of a Killjoy. So once they swap sides, that might not be as impactful later on, but I think the Sage is a great pick there because that Sage wall still gets a ton of value these days.
Shout out to this nifty overlay we got here. CF1 looking real crisp, real clean. I love how the bind looks right there. Getting me real nice and fired up here, ladies and gentlemen. We got game number 1 here loading up. We got UW Gold coming in hot. We got Ottawa coming in hot. And we're just waiting for the final few seconds to load in. Here we go, folks. It's going to be game number 1. The first round of a brand new CF1 Collegiate Valorant season is going to be kicking off. And Jag, as we take a look at the first purchases that come out, I love the coordination we're going to be seeing here from Ottawa Gold. Going with light armor and classics across the board, putting a lot of faith in that right click.
Yeah, they're going to be trying to get short distance kills. The right click, like you said, more of a shotgun than a pistol when you're able to get the right range. And because they have all those abilities we just talked about, they have a really good way to get onto these points. However, as you see, Waterloo actually has stacked B with 3 people, which is not usually what you'd expect. And they're going to go for this teleporter.
Oh my, Ottawa caught looking out nowhere. They're trying to find where the shots are coming from, and OW, or excuse me, UW is coming in with a 2-for-1 and the side of biscuits there. Just taking the teleport, going to open up a nice early lead for the defense. And Jag, when the defense takes this kind of aggressive lead and now has a numbers advantage, it makes it really difficult to try and create an opportunity here, especially when you're left with just pistols at your disposal. Light here, trying to fend off that attack. Ooh, getting a little close, 48 HP. They're going to back off, and this might be the go button here for Ottawa.
But look, the Raze is so weak. The Stove is living on a prayer right now. Aru is really lucky to still be alive, and they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Nowhere to really go. They don't even get any information from that recon ball. Aru might just sacrifice themselves for the cause as the rest of the team rotates.
And when I thought it was going to be a go button, that was actually the moment the brakes were hit. Ooh, that was a close call right there. Claus is almost going to find one. Aru's going to try and take the risky peek. Only 1 HP. No dream to be found. That's just going to be a nightmare as UW Gold opens up with a first round take for the 1, or for the 0, I should say.
Utterly gold. I mean, that's a risky play there. You take the teleporter. I mean, first of all, you got to hope that no one's peeking on B long, which no one was, so it wasn't too bad for them. But the fact that they didn't get punished for it, the fact that they were able to win that and only lost 1 along the way, you can see the cojones coming out from them early on. It works out. Now they're able to buy for this round, and this is why this team has been so successful throughout their CF1 career. Plays like that, now the second round should be theirs.
Here we have the second round. More classics to come out from Ottawa Gold. Not looking to push their luck here after a tough first round. Going to be a little more of a spread out kind of opening here. You can see Aru just dodging out. And what I really like is how we have the simple wall just blocking off Ottawa Gold, and they're just taking their time with it. They're going to let the wall disintegrate. They're going to make sure that UW Gold has to be patient. They have to hold their corners. They have to hold their sights. And when you have the Viper available to you as well, Jag, it really gives you an opportunity to just create that divide, split the site in half, and start to play some mind games with your opponent.
Mind games might not be enough for Ottawa Gold on this round. They're already down 2. And yeah, you can use that wall, you can use the Poison Orb as a one-way, but there's no one-ways being created yet. That Omen smoke will be enough to get the spike plant. No, it isn't. Light is able to get the Shock Dart kill.
Light with the beautiful lineup right there. You don't need to go for the wall bang if you have the Shock Darts, but my god, a Bulldog's pretty good at getting the job done as well. Light with a 3P, looking for the Forte, but going to preserve their life instead. The smart choice is going to be taken there for UW Gold, and the second round is going to be theirs.
And it was pretty much guaranteed they'd win that, especially after they got that opening pick. It was really hard for Ottawa to really do much there, but the fact that they did it flawlessly, the fact that they denied the spike plant is huge. It means that even if they lose this round, it's not going to be great for Ottawa going forward. Their economy still is not going to be enough. I mean, you see there's 2 players right now on 0 credits, barely able to afford. This is the bonus. Even if UW Gold loses this, they're still going to be in a great place going forward, and if they win this, that's just gravy on top.
Ooh. Gonna be as slow as gravy too there, because nobody's stepping up, nobody's doing anything overzealous here. Gold is, excuse me, I say gold, but both these teams are shining bright. Ottawa Gold is going to be targeting B side here for the first time as a full 5-person unit. Light, though, going to get the information, going to back up, going to give Vexy a chance to push through the Paranoia, but it's actually going to be Vex turning the tables on the Paranoid one themselves. Ottawa Gold going to have to back up and play a little bit more cautious now. Down numbers yet again. And somehow, some way, the Omen from Ottawa is able to get out alive and possibly reset for the squad.
It's an advantage to them, but so many members right now are weak on the side of UW. The Trailblazer, the Guiding Light, that's going to be the equalizer. Now they've got a free plant, but the spike isn't there yet, so they're going to have to wait for the rotation to come through. That might be just enough time for UW Gold to get back, but again, this Sage and this Astra are both so weak.
And Jag, that shock arrow gets, or excuse me, shock dart gets a nice chunk onto the plant as 60 HP is left on the planter. But Prim is going to get flashed out, and Foe is going to be serving up a nice cold dish right there, taking down 2. Sin's going to line up with a 3rd there. And just like that, Ottawa Gold find their footing, take control of the site, and they get their first round of the CF1 season.
It looked a little bit desperate there for a second when they lost the first kill, but even with that, they're able to realize, hey, we still have the better weapons here. We still have the spike. We still have the advantage. Let's just go swap sites, try to enter. They drew everyone towards B, so they knew that A would be pretty much open for the taking. They're smart with that. They use strategy there to win that round, and now UW Gold, they lose it, but they take one out on the way. They can buy, and this is really where we're going to see, you know, mano y mano. Everything is equal. Everything is even. This is where we're going to see skill really shine.
Skill may shine, but info is king, my friend. Light gonna be sniffed out there by the recon dart, and Sovas are going to start trading out some utility between one another. A nice gravity well in tandem. with a grenade gonna come out. Vex is gonna find one, but give up their life in response. And Ottawa Gold doing a great job at rubber banding this UW Gold aggression. As Waterloo, they are strong, they are talented players, but Ottawa is showing that they can handle the aggressiveness and the skills.
They caught out, but it's actually Kip who's just caught out in no man's land. There's going to be a trade on a 3v2 Light, though. They know exactly where this Sova's playing.
Yeah, Light trying to avoid the flash, not going to be able to do so. As Kloss gets down the one spike plant of this round, UW Gold are going to be living on the prayer here as Chinese Shrug trying to make the 1v3 happen. Now, Cypher is looking pretty healthy, you know, 91 overall HP isn't too bad as long as you avoid getting shot in the head, but easier said than done when you got lineups to deal with.
Also super weak too, at 5 health, but the overgrowth there, give them back all that health, and that's why Sky is still so good.
Oh, wait, he's gonna get the paranoia. He's gonna wait to find. Yeah, okay, there we go. Aru is gonna take him down after hopping the boxes there in hookah. Gonna tie us up at 2 rounds apiece here as Ottawa showing up big here against their second place finishers from spring 2021.
Absolutely, that was a round they needed to win to kind of establish themselves, to keep their economy healthy, and also to take out Waterloo's economy for just a little bit. So this doesn't have to be a save round for them. And it's really unfortunate there for Ottawa Gold. They just, or not for Ottawa Gold, for Waterloo Gold. It's gold names, kind of confusing, but
Exactly,
both of them shining bright, like you said. But the thing there is that there's Cypher not on the right point, and Cypher's great at taking down an area, but didn't have any utility there, had no tripwires, had no camera. So not really much you can do there. The defuse is really all you can go for. Didn't get it done that time.
And the interesting, Jag, look at this. The 4-person defense here coming from UW Gold there on B side. Take a look at your minimap, folks. You can see everyone except the Cypher is over on B. Now, this weak side Cypher on A side is going to have a lot of utility to sort out that information. The Sky Dog is going to take down one of the tripwires, but you can see on your map, folks, the Sage has been called over for reinforcements, and that may be at the perfect time because the go button's going to be hit here by Ottawa Gold in just a moment. And there it is.
Oh, Shorty over here. He finds the kill. Can they pick up the weapon? Oh, they need that Vandal to get anything done.
Aru gonna find one, gets traded out. Shrug showing off the ability of a close range battle for the shotgun. The Shorty coming up big. Sin's gonna take down Vex as well. And as the Hunter's Fury is gonna be playing defense here on the bomb site, UW Gold is able to force off the aggression from Ottawa. And look at that, the swing around, the B site control. Sky, Foe, gonna be dropping the spike down. Light only with a Sheriff is gonna have to try and be the savior against the Vandal. But Foe, with 31 HP, that's one-shot territory. Even with the Sheriff, avoids the intel, avoids the dart, but gets snipped out by the recon. No elimination to be found. Foe gets Light in the weak spot, but Prim will pick up the slack. And University of Waterloo ekes out the lead yet again, 3-2.
What a thrifty round that was. A Shorty and a Dream gets 2, and that was enough to help Waterloo get over the finish line there. I mean, look at this. Holding positioning was vulnerable because of the Viper, but still just wasn't pushed up on. Sure, you get 1, but you gotta remember there's still that Cypher hiding there in lights. Waterloo Gold. This is why they have done so well. Again, I said it already earlier, but it's plays like that. Rounds they should not win that they do. They only commit when ultimate. Their ult bank still looking pretty healthy. Their economy now is better than Ottawa Gold's, and Ottawa Gold now has to go for a bit of a half fight. You see some Spectres coming out because they cannot get ARs.
But they can get that information, and the Sovas, yet again, are going to be trading out that intel with the arrows, with the shock darts. Kip, though, going to be striking first blood here, going to take Foe down off camera. You can see on your minimap, Foe went down deep in the offensive spawn. The aggressive peek coming in from the Sage Cypher duo on Waterloo's side pays dividends here. And now you can see the map has essentially been cut in half, as University of Waterloo are doing a great job at mirroring their opponent's movements, feeling out what they're going to do, and reading them like a book.
I was looking for the paranoia. We're going to see the paint cans come in any moment now, and I think that's going to be the go button. No, actually going to hold on to it. Gonna be using a snake bite instead. That's gonna be it. It doesn't hit anything. Oh my god, what?
That's a two-man! That's a two-man Hunter's Fury coming out from Aru, but Prim trying to play hero as well. Unfortunately, there's only one Superman allowed on this half of the map, and Ottawa Gold, University of Waterloo, 2 versus 2. The spike goes down, and Ottawa Gold are going to have to play defense here. They're in a tough spot with both members in the same exact location, but the res is going to come through, and that's just going to lead to a 6K for Aru. 6 eliminations, 6 players knocked down, and the 3rd round on the board for Ottawa.
That was all Aru all the time. That was incredible. I was amazed. I couldn't even speak there, Beanies. I did not expect that to get 1 kill, let alone 2. I thought we were going to be looking at that Ray's ultimate getting so much value. It hits no one. And the Resurrection also committed there. They thought the Sage Wall would be enough to protect them. It was not, and Prim brought back for nothing just for 6 kills. I've never seen a 6K ace before. That was incredible. Aru, take a bow, but don't take one for too long, because you still got a game to play. 3-3. And again, UW Gold. We thought their economy would be good enough to stabilize, but you can see now they have to go for a save.
Oh, Jag, that hurt me to watch. 27 HP, I think, is left on Vex right now. Not looking very promising. That's a leg shot on a good day, my friend, to get taken down, as the shorty strat from Chinese is going to come in big. If we see Ottawa pushed down that A long site, or that A short site, excuse me. But the spike isn't even in control of a player right now. It's being left. I say that, it gets picked up. And A site is going to be the slow and steady push. But I'm curious what the Sova is going to be doing back there on the B site anchor. The distractor. The one to try and keep these 2 defenders of B site enticed to think it could be going B. It could be going B. But Foe is going to show themselves on A. And with Vexy securing the elimination, it's going to be the plant coming down. And now it's left in the hands of Ottawa Gold to play counter offense, to play defense. The words, they're not coming to my mouth, but it's UW Gold playing defense to perfection right now. Or excuse me, Ottawa Gold playing defense to perfection. These gold colors, Jag. Too many golds.
2 gold, but 1 will end up having the silver medal in this game. Light able to take out 1, but it's going to be immediately traded out. UW Gold, they couldn't make the magic happen again. The shorty was caught out in Light. Fumi won, shame on you. And now it's only Shrug left alive. 40 HP and a dream. Looks like Ottawa, they're not even going to push this. No, they're just going to leave it there. Maybe Shrug gets taken out by the spike, but as this round ends, I'm just so impressed by the patience. Yep, Shrug gets blown up by the spike. I'm so impressed by the patience of Ottawa Gold. A lot of the time, you just see teams that have the buy advantage run in willy-nilly and just kind of say, oh, like, we can win this pretty easily, but going up against Sheriffs, that's not always a guarantee. I mean, those Sheriffs, 1 shot, 1 kill to the dome. So this time they wait, they play patiently, they double peek. They get on point, and then they win that round, and it's going to force a timeout here.
Yeah, and the timeout, I'm going to take a guess, is coming from the side of University of Waterloo. You can look at their eco and make that assumption. Just take a look. They have assault rifles coming out, but 2 members going to be scraping the bottom of the barrel for this buy right here. So if University of Waterloo wants to keep themselves competitive in this first half, this round is going to be a big determining factor of that.
It is, because this composition is made for defense. That's why you have the Cypher. That's why you have the Sage. There's such defensive agents here. I mean, Sage can be offensive depending on what map it is, like Icebox, but really, he or she is here for defense to cut off entryways or for walls as well as their slow orbs. And right now, they're facing a deficit. It's not a big one, but it is one nonetheless. Their economy is constantly in flux. Neither team has really been able to stabilize, but especially Waterloo Gold has struggled with that. And now their ultimates, they used quite a few in the last few rounds, and they really haven't found any value with them.
No, and that's the real name of the game here with your ultimates, is you need to find value. When you have so many ult orbs or eliminations or spike plants required to charge up that ultimate, it makes it so much more valuable and so much more detrimental when you can't make that ultimate valuable. As Chinese Shrug is going to play with that fire right there, throw down the tripwire. Getting information here is important, but Not giving up your life is even more important. The go button's going to be hit. Sins is going to throw out the rocket. No eliminations to be found, but a lot of information to be gathered. And look at the defense, folks. Look at Waterloo. They're hanging on the prayer, and Chinese Shrug answers, my friend. 2K coming out from the Cypher on the side of University of Waterloo. And they are left with a 4 versus 3 here on the defense. And they have control of the spike, Jag. That's massive.
Kip, though, is looking the other way. Kip is the perfect distraction. Now it's only Aru. Can they make the magic happen once again? They got a 6K earlier, but against 3, it's not going to be done, Beamies. And UW Gold, they answer back. It just feels like we're going to be trading rounds for the rest of the series. But it's, like, again, it's just these economies.
Okay.
Like, they're
I'm okay with
a little
that.
awkward. Yeah, I am too, as well, with how good this game has been so far. It does look like at the end of things, the economy is going to be a little bit worse for Ottawa Gold. We'll have to see what Vexy decides to do here. But Vex is going to commit to the Judge, which actually I like a lot. I feel like this is a really good weapon if you're going to go for a lower buy on Rage. Because of those blast packs, you can get in and out of areas a bit quicker. And this is always a play. Just sit up with the Judge in hookah and see if anyone runs through.
Now, what's going to be interesting is if that is expected at all. But Klaus actually going to be landing with a nice from the shadows. We can skip that in the highlight reel because you still got the kill, my friend. That's going to be UW Gold having to stabilize after a nice ultimate teleport coming out from Ottawa. And then Foe catching Kip at a very awkward moment when they get eliminated. And the 5 versus 3 is set up here, along with the Sky ultimate to give valuable information.
Seekers gonna give a lot of information, like you said. They know they're coming from the attacker's spawn site that uses the Owl drone. But I don't know what you can really do here for Waterloo Gold. You're going into a 5v3. You can try to take over Heaven, but you can't even do that. Claws almost gets a 4K.
From the lone member of UW Gold here, going to be foregoing any Rambo tactics. Going to be valuing their life, valuing the gun that they have in their hand, and maybe pick up a straggler. But none to be found here, Ottawa Gold, with a clean, flawless round. No eliminations given over. A clean spike, clean detonation. And now 5-4 is in their lead.
Again, so patient. And they just wait for the moment to strike. And I mean, there it was the great from the shadows, the great teleport into the backline. I mean, Shrug had no idea where they were being shot from. They had no idea that someone was firing at them from their own defensive side, unfortunately for them. But that was the go button. They fall in, and they don't chase for that extra kill. They just play the objective to win the round. I mean, you don't get the final kill, you don't get the full team wipe, but it's a lot safer overall.
What I love, Jag, is watching the consistent use of this Sage wall. You know, I can vividly remember thinking back when I first started playing Valorant when they came out. Sages who were just throwing this wall down every round, like, come on, get creative with it, do something else with it, since taking down Chinese Shrug. But lo and behold, Kip is showing, just like many others, that this wall, throwing it down onto A short, is really, you know, the most valuable thing you can do with it consistently, because you know people are always looking at taking A site from that lane, just diverting them, just throwing them off, preventing the push for even 20 seconds is massive, as Aru takes down Prim and opens up a massive hole on the B side here for Ottawa Gold to push through.
This is a really bad round for UW Gold to lose. This was a bit of a forced buy. They lose this. It's going to be back to budget once more. They'll have to go for a save round, and we're almost near halftime, so you really want to try to at least get as equalized as possible, especially on a map that is defensive side again. These attackers have been pushing the objective over and over again, and Foe's gonna have that Trailblazer give away where Light is.
Aru getting touched by a bullet or two, but gonna be finished off when he comes into the light there. It's gonna be left with just one member of the University of Waterloo squad here. Vex going to try and play superhero right now, but has the weapon, has full shield. We don't need to be wasting money in a time like this. You know what? I guess it's just a giving season mood for Vex. Going to be given over the final kill of that round, and Ottawa Gold has taken their 6th round of the game. So they are looking very good in this first half. In a half that, Jag, you said, was supposed to be UW Gold favored just because of how they picked their agents.
Yeah, Ottawa Gold, I mean, their comp is more attack based, but I think it is a bit more flexible versus UW Gold's. Um, and I like what you said there about the weapons. I was going to say, you know, you can give up that gun, but it's not tax deductible, unfortunately. And they're going to have to go saving
It's not
once
right off
more.
what?
Yeah, UW Gold, yeah, no write off. And it's going to be at least a tie for Ottawa Gold going into this. They could have an 8-4 lead, which isn't the end of the world for UW Gold. That's still very easily cut into, especially if you win the first 2 rounds after half. But like this, like you said, this should have been a defensive advantage, and it hasn't been.
The Hunter's Fury comes out alongside the Sky Flash. Oh, Kip stays hidden, but I think just a little bit, yes! Foe somehow sees just a tiny bit of Kip's clothing, able to sniff him out, and just like that, Ottawa Gold taking down 2 members of the Waterloo squad. But look at this, look at this, look at this! Flipping the map on its head, 180 light, trying to shut them out for their opponents, but Ottawa Gold, they're not fooled easily. Magic Tricks be damned. It's going to be Ottawa taking their 7th round of the half.
Last round.
Final round going into the half. Can UW Gold get it to a 5-7? They will be able to buy here. They have good ultimates. I mean, honestly, this round looks a bit more in their favor. I think the biggest thing they have to do is not overextend. I think a few times they've gotten a little bit anxious on the defense. They don't see anyone, they don't hear anything, so they try to peek to try to get a little bit of info, and instead it's usually met with a bullet to the skull. They cannot do that. They cannot overextend their hand here, especially with this ult advantage. I think the biggest thing is Cosmic Divide. Just throw it out there. Like, do not hold on to that for too long. It could cut off an entire point. You could force Ottawa Gold to go somewhere they don't want to, but instead you're peeking out of showers and can't even get the res out.
Oh, but then the strategy works on the other half of the map. UW Gold incredibly aggressive on the defense here, going for a risky swing on A and B site, only getting a positive return on one of them. And now we're left with a 2 versus 2 when things are all said and done. Ottawa, though, have a clean path to take over this A site and get the spike down. And you have the Sky ultimate coming out as well. Just giving away that information. And the Hunter's Fury in response. Ooh, but Jag, look, the spike is held. The spike was held.
Yeah, they held it instead of playing because of the Hunter's Fury, but they didn't get hit by any of those ultimate strikes, so now they have a free plant. Foe knows that there is one in heaven with that Trailblazer. There's the paint shells. Shrug almost does die in the corner, and Light is the last one left.
Okay, take a break, guys.
Oh my, Sins with the highlight reel clip coming in. The 1-2 piece, baby. But I can't believe the grenades have that kind of range. Like, Jag, what?
I think paint shell is like one of the most overpowered ability in this game. I will stand by that. The range is insane, especially the fact that it goes off twice. And unfortunately, a lot of the time you think, oh, like, I'm out of the range. Nope, you're right in it unless you're, like, at least 10 feet away. Unfortunately, there, for Shrug, they were backed into a corner. They really had nowhere to go. The option was either try to jump out the window and fall into 2 people, or maybe you get far back enough you don't. What looks like a great opportunity for UW Gold to take one back ends up being a disaster. They end up losing it despite having a great start to it. I think a big part of it is that they had that teleport, but they weren't aggressive enough. They had to peek at the same time. Instead, they lost hit. And after that, it really was lights out.
Well, now, folks, we have hit halftime. We are now going to get a chance to see what each team can do on the opposite side of the map. UW Gold, their first round of offense going to be coming in here, and they have chosen B site very decisively. They are not going to leave anything up in the air. They just want to safely secure a pass through here. Nice shock arrow through the teleporter coming in from the Ottawa Gold Sova. A nice lineup to secure at least a little bit of chunk damage in this first round. But the skill button's going to be hit, Jag. It's going to be starting the push. Chinese Shrug picks up one. Kip gets the second. The site fully cleared. And with that wall coming in from Kip as well, a nice job securing the plant and putting the ball in Ottawa's court.
Was able to rotate out. It's a 3v5, and there's a lot of great control on this site, but this paranoia, as well as that guiding light, could be huge. Claw finds one. Can they find more? No. I think this is going to be UW Gold picking this up.
Yeah, Claws got pretty close there, but Aru couldn't finish it off. The 1 versus 2 dream was alive, if only for a moment, but UW Gold, after that half that they weren't looking too hot, they find their way to get some footing, and they come out of the gates in the second half, storming, get that first round.
It's so important. They should be getting the second one as well. And I mean, it's not even just about the score. It's really about just getting any semblance of momentum back in their favor. Like I said, it's not the end of the world to be 8-4. They should be able to get it to 6-8, which is only 2-round differentials. So very much a win condition where you can come back and overtake that lead depending on how these next few rounds go. But I think the biggest thing here is, don't lose too many people along the way. You have better weapons, so don't play too recklessly just because of that.
Speaking of reckless play, Vex satchel charging themselves here into lamps. I'm not sure how much is known by the Ottawa defense here. There's no way they would know that a judge is in their hand. Unless they had eyes of a hawk. And now they know for sure. Vex giving a rude awakening over the foe as Chinese Shrug may meet the same fate. No! Chinese Shrug so prepared for that corner to be held. Knew Klaus was right there. In Ottawa, with only 3 members left to retake, they're really just hoping to pick up a straggler here or there, maybe an elimination before the round ends. But it's not looking promising, especially when you're walked headfirst into Judge, Jury, Executioner themselves. Vex getting the 4K here on their 6th round win for the UW Gold.
If the Operator is the best friend of the Judge is definitely the best friend of her Raze, and you see exactly why. Blast Pack in, they have another Blast Pack if they want to get out, they can just hold that angle. And it was just like ducks in a row. There's 1, there's 2, where's the 3rd? There's the 3rd. 2 shots, 4 kills when all was said and done. But they knew they were going to win that round. Now it's really up to Ottawa Gold again to get some of their own momentum back. They have the better weapons, but I think the biggest thing is they still have to be worried about Vex. You cannot let Vex run into you right now. You have to keep them at range because Vex wants to just jump right in. And this Poison Orb might deter them for a little bit.
Oh, he didn't even see Vex! Vex jumped just out of the sight line of Vexy right there. Gonna be delivering a rude awakening to that counterpart as Vex themselves do in fact take the site. Don't hit anybody with the ultimate there as the showstopper is just thrown out to zone. And UW Gold, again, quick, decisive, aggressive calls, taking control of B-side here, and they're looking for that 7th round win on the board. They have 4 Ottawa Gold members standing in their way.
Foe can't win that. That's their healing offline. That is really bad. That's a lot of their entry as well. And Shell's going to create some separation. And we've seen this a few times now from two different teams. They're just not peeking at the right time. But that's a great pick 3 for Sins.
Wow, Aru and Sins lighting up the kill feed right there for the Ottawa Gold lineup. And I was talking up this University of Waterloo squad about how well they had executed on this take and the aggressiveness. But Ottawa Gold showing off how they are in fact rubber to this University of Waterloo glue.
I was just saying, like, they have to peek at the same time. They did it there. I was really hoping they'd do it to kind of help their Sky out. If their Sky's peeking on the flank, maybe they can catch someone off guard. But instead, they rushed as a 3-person unit. It caught UW Gold off guard. I don't think they were expecting that sort of aggressiveness because they were down a member. They're the ones who end up falling. Ottawa Gold able to get that lead a little bit farther ahead as well as get the Seekers back online. And UW Gold, they committed that showstopper, like you said, didn't find anything. I'm sure they wish they had that ultimate back in their corner.
Ooh, Light gonna be sniffing out Vexy right there, who got a little aggressive. Gonna have to get out of dodge before the recon ends, and will do just that. Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out. Gonna find one through the boxes. But Foe gonna take advantage of the opportunity. Take down Light, and that's gonna be an assault rifle in the hand of Foe. A nice pickup for this squad as we have 4 versus 4 left here with a minute ticking down. This 16th round.
They know where Vex is because they were able to get that wall bang. So a little bit of damage going to that Raze's way, but these Seekers are really going to confirm where the members of UW Gold are trying to come from. And I think because of that information, you see Sins is going to make that rotation now, but they're still leaving 2 on A, so they're not making a full commit on this defense. And depending on how this goes, they might want to get a little bit of a pep in their step because this is going to be a 4v2.
Foe's in a risky spot here, Jag. Foe looks like they're going to be trading out their life for a frag at this point, because when you're that close to Hookah, you're going to be stuck in a tough spot. And look at that. Foe doesn't even trade out their own life. They're just going to be giving it away for free. And that means the site is going to be included in that 2-for-1 package deal there, folks. It's going to be Ottawa Gold having to retake the site from the hands of this University of Waterloo lineup. And that Sage Wall plus the Sage Res makes it a heck of a lot harder.
Harder might be impossible at this rate. This time, everyone is in Hookah except for one. In that corner, Shrug on the Cypher just holding it down on point, but everyone else is playing as far back as possible. There's really no way for Ottawa Gold to get in here, and even if they did, it's a 2v5 at this rate.
Ottawa may find Chinese Shrug, who swings, but does in fact pick up Sins. Also, Chinese Shrug gets one, gets a second. The 2K in close range for the Vandal user goes beautifully. And the 7th round win for UW Gold is on the board. And that first half lead that we saw Ottawa take and run with, I mean, you can see on the board here, folks, 4 straight rounds to end the first half. But it's just, it's disappearing in their hands. Just a 2-round lead now for Ottawa. And if we take into account the economy, I'd wager it's going to be a 1-round lead in about a minute and a half.
I would agree with that wager. I think you'd win quite a lot of money if someone bet against you on it. But we have seen 50 rounds before, so...
Anyone want it?
Anyone in chat? Want to do it real quick? But you're never out of it, right? Because you still have the Sheriffs. It is going to be very unlikely that they win it, especially because UW Gold also has the Cypher ultimate, so they can get a lot of recon with that if they're able to get that first elimination. We'll see if it's used.
Speaking of information, Jag, got a little bit of info right there as Light's recon gets taken out, but still firing off the classic does say somebody's nearby. Oh, okay, the right click does things. It chunks him down to 72 health there. Okay, shout out. But UW Gold still feeling fine and dandy, even with their Sova just a little bit injured. No real pressure to push anything too quickly. Remember, they have the eco advantage, so you don't want to overstep and give that classic a chance to get the right-click headshot on you. You got to use the advantage these guns lend you. But Vexy's trying to eliminate that advantage until he snapped back to reality, and there goes his gravity, my friends, because everything's falling apart for the Ottawa Gold defense. UW, 7 rounds on the board. It's going to be 8 in just a moment as the spike gets planted, and it's a 3 versus 4 retake left in the hands of the cheap Ottawa lineup. Oh, but they have the Vandal.
Flank. Yeah, has the Hunter's Fury as well, so you need to clear out. You need to clear this area out, but they can't. The Recon Bolt does get the information they need. Or what can you do with this Hunter's Fury? Do you even try to commit it here? They don't really know where anyone is. This is not super great for Ottawa Gold, despite the fact that they have these weapons in hand and like a Prim on the flank.
Oh, Prim just misses a chance to take them both out, but is going to be playing Protector. Gets one, gonna hide again. Sins knows where they are, but can't force the trade, can't force the deal. But Prim finds the angle, finds the headshot. University of Waterloo get their 8th round on the board. And folks, we got us a heck of a game here to open up the CF1 season.
Wondering if it's going to continue like this throughout the next map. I hope we get a 3rd one at this, right? Well, we'll see how things go. But the good news there for Ottawa Gold, despite losing that round, is they did get a few trades on the way, 3 to be exact, so that means Gold on the other side, Waterloo, they have to spend. It also means they're going to be getting an operator now. Seems going to be going with this. Not usually something you see from arrays, but let's see how it pans out as they try to hold down a sightline.
Oh, it's going to be hard holding down the sightline when foe is forcing it. Taking out the Sova, bringing the fight to him as the recon drone gets dropped. But Kip going to avenge their fallen ally, get the self-healing down. The cross-map Hunter's Fury is going to come out. Oh my god, someone shout Kobe in chat because Aru is just laying them down across the map. Hunter's Fury coming up big, giving us an evened out agent screen with 3 on 3. Oh, sorry for the disrespect, Sins. Oh, I'm so sorry, Sins. It was a 3 versus 3, but Sins got a hold of that and turned it into a 3 versus 1.
Sins has some of the best tracking I've ever seen. His only Shrug is able to get out Claws, but it's still going to be a win for Ottawa Gold. They're still able to just hold on to this lead for a little bit longer. Economies are going to be all over the place. Look at that, and then look at this. I mean, Prim really should have had that. It just looks like they didn't get their footing with their shots, and it let Sins reset there. Could not start as someone of an operator like that. It is just certain death. That being said, Aru, it looks like someone's going to buy for them. Gonna settle for a Spectre. Everyone else has assault rifles on the field, so UW Gold still has a slight advantage here. I think, again, the Cosmic Divide, it needs to come out, and just as, you know, I say it's willed into existence. There it is.
You speak it into existence, and it happens, my friend. The gift and the curse of a caster, for better or worse. And speaking of a gift and a curse, it's gonna be Sins delivering a package straight to Vex, taking them down the showstopper, eliminating the evened out odds. As Ottawa Gold have this 5 versus 4 lead, they're holding out the defense, and this is so big for them to continue to stabilize. Sins with the operator in their hand as well. UW Gold, they're falling like flies. They have no way to deal with Sins and this operator. And Prim, none the wiser, just jumps off hookah to their demise.
Information gathered. Going off means that they know someone is playing in hookah right now. Kit does have the spikes, so there could be something that's done here, but Sins just holding this sightline with this operator. Do they dare even pick? Sins actually going to back out and go back to A. So it looks like Ottawa Gold, they don't want to hedge all their bets on this B site, but we've seen this before where they didn't rotate quick enough and it cost them. We'll see if they're able to get the job done here. It is a 5v2 and they have the Seekers, so they have so much to work with, and maybe that bet of going back to A is actually going to pan out, because it does look like now they are going to at least check out the idea of going to A. 19 seconds left. I don't even know if they have time to plant this, Beanies.
They're getting real close with it. They're trying to make it tense. They're trying to make it dramatic. But, I mean, the drama only works for you and me, Jag. It doesn't work when you're playing in the game. The spike, it's not going to go anywhere. The save is going to come through. University of Waterloo preserving the lives of their Sentinels here. For better or worse, it's going to be 11 round wins under the Ottawa belt.
Is it worth it? You have 2 people that can buy, so actually, I would say that was worth it. You only have Vex you can't really afford to buy here, but they could always just go for the Judge, or actually they're going to be able to get a Vandal with light armor, so that was a good play in the end by Waterloo. There's really no reason to try to just sacrifice themselves for the spike plant, for that extra credits, for the def credits. What they did here was the smart move. The question is, can they actually make something of it? That lead, it's in a little bit bigger for Ottawa Gold, and they're only 2 rounds away from taking this first map.
Oh, I love Silva lineups. And speaking of Silva lineups, that's going to be a lineup shot and eliminated Vexy right there. Oh, the hookah. It was too tightly wound. It was too tough to get out. And Foe. Oh, gonna lose that trade against Chinese Shrug, leaving UW Gold with a 5 versus 3 here. And the defense is going to have to give up the site and really carry from Sins the operator to try and get back this 5 versus 3.
We're gonna do that to poor Vexy. At least take him out to dinner first. I mean, the Recon Bolt, the Gravity Well, the Hunter's Fury, it was just a team play there to kill them, and there was nothing they could do.
Oh, sometimes it really just be like that, Jag. Ooh, Klaus gonna be taking down Vexer. A nice running headshot. Send that to Riot, please, as Aru returns the favor. Klaus joining as well. It's a whole silhouette of Ottawa Gold just painting UW all over the map. 12 rounds here for Ottawa Gold. It's game point here in game number 1. And Ottawa, they're stepping up to the plate big time here in CF1's opening day.
Waterloo, you can't let them get away with this time after time. We've seen now a few rounds where they've had a good advantage, 5v3, 5v2, and it just falls apart. They just don't have the footing. I think that they just don't. It's something that we saw earlier in there on defense, where they got a little bit impatient and they would peak when they really didn't have to, or go too far away from sight. Here, they're just not holding angles. You can see them getting a bit impatient, going away from their responsive duties. They're not actually holding where they're supposed to be. Because of that, Ottawa Gold able to come in. Those kills come in from the flank and they get kind of separated, kind of shocked by it. Ottawa Gold, like you said, 1 round away. Good economy, 3 ultimates. Oh, no. And this is their game to lose. But again, Vexy going to be the first to die.
Vexy just getting caught in such bad situations there. I mean, we all saw it. Middle, pulling out the knife and the gun, swapping between them. Next thing you know, a Sage swings the corner and takes you down. With Kip in full control of this hookah now. Yeah, I say full control. Taking back that statement a bit, because the Klaus here over on Ottawa also contesting that with the smoke. And nobody's willing to really overstep too much, especially from Waterloo's side, because 1 round is all that separates Ottawa from a game 1 victory here. And this defense is ready to pounce. You saw that the Omen ultimate was ready to go, and they're going to be using it. Take a look at your map, folks. Omen went to the enemy spawn and returned back. Just a scouting ultimate. No information gathered. if they can surmise, it's going to be A side here as Prim is going to take down the operator. The challenge was massive, Jag, and that's a crucial kill for UW Gold to get themselves into this round and back in this game.
Not only that, but it's a bait. They immediately go back to B, but they are aware of what's going on. It's a 3v4. It's still winnable, and everyone is going to be log, and they're going to be caught with the collateral!
Oh my god! Oh no, Foe, why'd you gotta do it to them? Their hopes were high. They were thinking so well. They had the chance to take this game. But Foe served them up a dish. Best served warm, my friend. It's gonna be a nice bowl of Foe taking down one, but Klaus following up, taking down Kip, who got real hot with it at the end. And it's a 1 versus 1. UW having to play the mind games. Klaus having to try and play the same ones. Prim, it's a game of chicken. And who's gonna bite first? Who's gonna peek? Who's gonna give it up? Oh, it's gonna be Klaus who holds it. Klaus, the cool Tom Collect member of Ottawa Gold, going to secure the first game win for Ottawa Gold in CF1 competition.
Defenders win.
1.96. It was a game of chicken, and it looks like Klaus was the one who ended up winning. I mean, that Astra was just so weak. You really couldn't do that much. You had to hope they were just holding the spike and then you get the free kill. It's not really a great situation to be in, unfortunately, if you are Prim, but regardless, they lose there. They drop the map. That is a first win overall in CF1 for Ottawa. So starting off their career here, great start. You take at least one map off the defending second place as champions. Now, they're not the champions, but they did get the defending runners-up. Still very, very good overall how many teams we had in the spring. And I wouldn't say it was the most one-sided affair, but a 5-round differential is still, you know, a good amount this early on in the season.
It is, but it didn't feel like it was ever out of University of Waterloo's grasp. That's the thing. It felt like it was just a snowball effect that Ottawa was really able to get a hold of and run with. I mean, 4 rounds to end the first half. To the end, towards the end here, I believe they took what? 4 straight rounds, maybe, I want to say. Maybe 3. So Ottawa really was able to get these rounds snowballing. I mean, we could mention Sins on the operator at the end there as well, really being a force to be reckoned with and demanding respect. And like I said, the snowball effect that we saw Ottawa have, it was too much for University of Waterloo, and maybe Waterloo needed this wake-up call in the game 1. They came in feeling good, feeling like they could walk through this, as you said, the defending runners-up. But now we're gonna be going into that game 2, and it's anybody's match for all I know, because game 2 is going to be the choice of University of Waterloo. And when we get back from this break here, folks, we're gonna be checking out that map and checking out game number 2. Don't go anywhere.
Looking down from the heights that we have built all by ourselves, and there is fear of the unknown, but we cannot lose control when we feel like the world is against us. We're trying to find ourselves without the defining words. We can no longer hold on to what only makes us hurt. We cannot sink into the dark, the vertigo is getting sharp. There's something greater than ourselves that we must reach for. Into the infinite that we must reach. 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 Now which way do we go is the question to ask. There are so many choices that it's hard not to look past. What is real and what is fake, and the risk we have to take. Will we know what is throwing off our balance? We're trying to find
Welcome back, everybody. It is time for game 2 of CF1's kickoff match. I'm your host, Beanies, joined alongside the color commentator that we all love and know. It's the one and only Jag, and we have a heck of a game 1 going on here, folks, because in the first matchup of our first game, we saw University of Waterloo, our defending runners-up, get taken down in pretty dominant fashion by the likes of University of Ottawa.
Yeah, and this was, just a surprise. We didn't really know what to expect from this Ottawa Valorant squad. They're a new team. I don't think they've even been around that long for the university from what I could see. But regardless, they do take that first map. However, the caveat is that was their pick. It seems like they had a strategy in hand of what they wanted to do, what they wanted to execute, and how they would execute it. And it worked pretty well. 5-round differential, a 13-8 score, and all is said and done. But now, oh, how have the turntables. It is going to be Ascent. It is going to be the map pick of Waterloo, so we'll see if they can turn around here and force that map 3.
Yeah, as you said, it is going to be the pick coming out from Waterloo, and they did choose Ascent. So heading on to Ascent, as you see pulled up on your screen here. Thank you, production, you lovely folks behind the screens. But Ascent is going to be our second map of choice here, and Ascent is always going to be a map that has those people who absolutely love it, and then you have those people who absolutely cannot stand it. But if I'm going to speak candidly about Ascent, I am one of those people who absolutely love it because of the kind of picks that you can bring out here on this map. I personally love watching a good old-fashioned Reyna, but Jag, I want to give you the floor. What do you think we're going to be seeing on this Ascent map? Are we going to get that Sky run back?
I'm going to say I like the Reyna too, and I think actually the Reyna can kind of take the place of the Sky in this composition. Yeah, I was expecting the Jet to come out at some point. Ooh. And one thing we didn't talk about earlier on was KO did get buffed. So not only did we have those nerfs come through, but KO a bit stronger. His flashbangs come out faster. And that can be the real difference maker between choosing that and the Sky. Sky, a little bit more versatile. KO, kind of more of a one-trick note, I would say. One-note character, one-note agent. But regardless, still pretty strong. But it is going to be Ottawa Gold basically running it back. This is essentially the same comp we saw last time, except now they're adding a Killjoy to the mix.
Which makes a lot of sense. Killjoy is a very good pick on this map. The kind of value you can get from your bot, from your grenades, from even your ultimate, just the kind of corners you can cover by dropping down your ultimate and getting a nice coverage of that B site, of that A site. But I'm excited because Kaio is going to be making their very first appearance in CF1 competition. You know, they weren't around when we had ourselves our spring finals and whatnot. So now Kaio is going to be showing up big here, and I'm excited to see the kind of entrance that they're going to be getting in the hands of Kip here for the University of Waterloo Gold squad. University of Waterloo is starting on attack. Defense going to be in the hands of Ottawa Gold. Can't use that to differentiate them. And as the clock ticks down here, Jag, we have a different look coming out from Ottawa Gold. Not going to be running the 5 pistols with light shield. We're going to be seeing a little variation, but for the most part, I'm just happy we're getting the Frenzy here. Shout out to you, Vex. Frenzy gang.
I hate the Frenzy. It's my least favorite side, if I'm being honest with you. But we'll see. You know, it doesn't matter what I think if it gets value, as Light is going to be using this Aerodrone early on. And Vexy, we saw them get caught up so many times. They're going to get the first kill this time. They said, stop running up on me. But they are going to be traded out.
It's going to be Kip doing what Kaios do best, and that's going to be entering onto the site. It's a trade left and right, but unfortunately this deal is going into the favor of Ottawa's squad. The defense is ready to return on this plant. Oh, and as the Skywolf gets a nice bite out of Light, it's going to be Sins securing the elimination. And Ottawa Gold striking first blood here, getting round number 1.
I think it is. It's very comical. You know, I would say that the finishing animation there is like the lightning on light. I don't know. That's funny to me. But regardless, they're actually able to stand their ground. We saw it so many times last time. So this is something interesting that I wanted to point out earlier. Vexy was playing the Viper last time, and I believe Kai was alone on the Omen. Now Vexy has taken over that Omen duty, and Kai is playing the Killjoy. So I'm wondering if that will change up how Ottawa Gold plays. We'll have to see how that Omen play ends up being. But so far, so good. They're able to get that trade. They're able to stand the line long enough to get Ottawa Gold back in the rotation. And UW Gold, they're in a force here. They do not want this lead to go over to Ottawa Gold early on. And I think this is actually a really smart player down in the series already. Try to catch them off guard with this. They're not expecting these Spectres.
They're not expecting Kip to run out here with a full shield Sheriff either. That's going to be a lot of HP to get through. Even when you have that first round under your belt, you're running a Spectre, for example, you're going to be surprised when it takes one more bullet to take down your opponent here in the second round.
Yeah, and that would be huge if they're able to find that kill with the Sheriff, grab a Spectre for their own, and then keep that full armor. Just because they do have those flashbangs at the ready if necessary. Kip could cook it for a little bit longer to try to get a longer flash in there. They throw it in, but it's going to be light falling.
They didn't see the Killjoy. Ottawa's Cypher did, or excuse me, Sova did not see the Killjoy from UW Gold. And that's going to be big because they don't know how many members are going to be pushing onto this site. But the go button's going to be hit here. UW Gold is looking to find their way onto the site. And with the smokes coming down, going to be giving UW Gold that free entry onto the site. You can see Kaio actually chooses to stay back. Possibly going to be a little bit of a bait. Maybe pick off a straggler who doesn't expect to see Kaio there. And remember, folks, Kaio does have this Sheriff in hand. That's going to be a one-shot elimination. They can find the headshot. But Kip is going to have to get risky. Going to have to swing. Gets one before the flash comes out, and that's all you needed to see there. Kip getting value from the Sheriff. Going to be taking down one, and that's really going to throw this Ottawa lineup for a mess. You know, I was starting to talk about how UW Gold could rally off of that nice headshot from Kip, but Ottawa just puts that to bed, tucks it in, gives it a nice glass of warm milk, and says, we'll see you in round 3, folks.
Ottawa Gold has consistently had the Sky despite the nerfs, and that is a huge advantage in terms of sustain, because while she can't heal herself, she can heal everyone else in the area of effect of her overgrowth. There you saw that UW Gold, they took over the point, they were able to get some kills early on, but they were so weak from those trades. It's really going to be hard to really get anything done there once they got the post plant. They weren't able to peek together because they didn't want to die. Unfortunately for them, they are going to lose on that force buy. However, it also means that Ottawa Gold isn't going to commit any more credits than they already have here. And UW Gold, it's not a big force buy here because they don't have enough really to go for it, but they are going to go for Sheriff. So they're not going to just go for a full light buy. They're not going to just, save and go for classics only. They still want to try to win these.
And I love the Sheriff purchases just because of the opportunity they lend you. With the aim that all these players very much have, the foe still strapped with that Spectre, and Sin's gonna be loading up as well with the Stinger. And even though UW Gold is going for this buy here, Jag, Ottawa isn't breaking the bank to defend. They got 5 people standing tall, 2 left here. That's gonna be Chinese Shrug getting one, but Ottawa Gold, they did not spend much money, and if they can come away with a round win here, these ripple effects are going to be felt for round after round after round. But UW Gold, will stabilize for now.
They can just keep saving, honestly, depending on if they want to. They should be able to buy next round, but do they just keep the Spectres if they can? I don't know if they really will, because now they've lost 2 on the way out. They have to be really careful about this. They need a clear Prim off point, but they also have to make sure that they aren't by that Killjoy is still alive.
Oh no, Chinese Shrug. Oh, I'm so sorry that we hopped to Chinese Shrug at that moment. I don't know if a Spectre shot hit, but anyone that did was really living on a prayer there, folks. Ottawa Gold not slowing down after game 1. Come out of the gates storming, taking a 3-0 lead in game 2.
They buy here. They can buy, and UW Gold is definitely going to buy, but it looks like actually this might be the bonus round for them after all, after 3 rounds. Hayat does decide to go for the Phantom, but everyone else is kind of sticking to their guns of what they had already. Are going to get the Ares, which makes sense because they are a Sova holding on to B, which means they're basically just going to use the radar or the sonar arrow and try to get some information then and spray and pray. But I mean, they're just not committing a lot here, and that's really surprising because they can buy. Ottawa Gold, they must feel comfortable where they are.
Oh, Aru somehow gets the elimination onto Vex, just barely. And that's going to be nicely done by Aru, getting to safety as well. Gonna try to challenge Light, who has the gun diff. Gonna be taking down one. Kip following it up with elimination as well. UW Gold, tired of being a punching bag, they're taking a few lessons themselves and looking to KO their opponents, as Ottawa Gold is gonna have to retake the site again.
This time they're gonna be at a disadvantage. And like how UW Gold is playing this, they're not putting everyone at the back of Boathouse. I think that's the biggest mistake teams make when they try to play for the post point after getting the spike down. They're spreading themselves out. It's really impossible right now for Ottawa Gold to do much of anything, but I mean, this is a round you expect to lose, and you'll still have a lot of credits.
I love the attempt to shoot through the wall with the Spectre. You know, it can get through, but it's going to be like a death by 1,000 paper cuts right there. As Light is able to bring down Kaya. UW Gold looking for just one remaining member who almost made a little bit of magic happen. Not enough time to defuse, but chaos could have been caused as KO gets out just in the nick of time. Kip going to be securing that save on the gun and the first round win for UW Gold.
If Kaya had survived there, that was a very winnable round. Unfortunately, they were double peaked. They weren't looking the right direction, and Sims was just so low. Had 8 health trying to go for that engagement, so they get hit once. They get breathed on. They get, like, sniffled on, and they are done. They do get 4, though, on a round that they had a gun disadvantage, so great way to force UW Gold to spend more. But UW Gold has a better ultimate bank right now, and they could do something with it here.
Hunter's Fury is going to come out. Not going to find any eliminations. Not even going to find any damage. Showstopper return fire. Sins is going to force Jet to dash out of harm's way. Excuse me. And just a lot of utility being traded out by both teams here. With UW Gold really taking their time. Going to be sending the long way around through spawn. Oh, and the KO ultimate's going to be coming out here. Overloaded is going to be the name of the game here. Just trying to make sure everyone can see what's going on and maybe tank a shot or two for the team. As Kip cleanly escorts UW Gold to the site. And that's Prim dropping the spike.
That ultimate is gone now, though. The KO gets shot, gets down. They are gone permanently. They're going to use the Cosmic Die. They're going to use basically every ultimate they have in the bank right now to try to secure this round. But they're down a person.
And this Cosmic Divide is going to be a heck of a task to get through. Light, though, going to be sniffed out by the Sky Ultimate. Foe giving up their life. Vex trading out 2 as well. It's going to be a 2 versus 2 left on the site with Vex coming up massive here for the UW Gold lineup. And this squad is prepared to give their lives to secure the spike. There's going to be a pincer attack coming in from the retake. Going to be taking down Prim, left with just 1. 1 versus 1 coming in. Going to try and find the shots, but Vex not able to get the reload in time. But Vex spent enough time to get the spike to go off. That's going to be UW Gold with their 2nd round win in a row.
And it wasn't likely they were going to get that defuse, but it felt like there actually was a possibility that they might have been able to hold it down and at least get it really close. Instead, they just kind of gave up, so wondering if that could have ended differently when it was all said and done, but we will not know. That alternate reality is UW Gold. They are able to bring it back. Now, Ottawa Gold, they're kind of in a difficult spot as their economy, it's kind of weird. It looks like they're going to try to just go for a light buy. UW Gold, they are going to force, except for Vex, who has the Blade Storm, so they don't even have to worry about a weapon. There it is being popped.
I love the Marshall pickup by the Ottawa squad as well. You know, it's the rare occasion you get the nice headshot coming in from a Marshall that really seals the deal on putting the nail in that coffin. But UW Gold not going to let themselves be buried alive here. It's going to be Foe traded out here after taking 1 down with the Sheriff. Vex not able to land the right click, and then the shock arrow just barely misses out from taking down 1, possibly 2 members of Ottawa. UW Gold, my God, they just hit the nitrous here to take the site. They have such confidence, such aggressiveness when they take control. They don't even look back. They have an opening, they go for it. And now Ottawa Gold is stuck, trying to recover, trying to patch up the holes that were opened up. And just like that, it's going to be a flash reality. Going to be taking down 1, 2, 3 members from Ottawa Gold, taken down. And UW just playing with their food, going to drop the final member of the defense. And just like that, Jag, it's tied up.
There you see the power of those flashbangs. Kip able to help get 2 kills for the team. They do get traded out from Heaven, but still a great play to clear out Tree. There it is. And right before this, it looks like Vex was like shaking their head, like, yes, like, go for it. Like, let's do this with their character. And there, it was communicated beautifully. They get the round win. Now we're going to be on even winning. This game has been really weird so far because, you know, there was no bonus round originally. So this is like really the second time I feel like they've been in the same weapons category, but Ottawa Gold, now they have the ultimate advantage. They've been saving up, they've been stockpiling. See what they can use here. I was surprised we didn't see the Omen ultimate come out last time. I thought they might try to use it for recon or try to go for a nice flank, but instead saved it for a rainy day, have the lockdown and the Hunter's Fury at their disposal as well.
And what I find very interesting, Jag, is after talking up how University of Waterloo is incredibly aggressive on that last push, they really take their time here, making sure that Ottawa has to think twice about everything they're doing, you know. Changing up that tempo really puts a wrench in the defense's internal clock, internal timings, when they expect these cooldowns to come out. Oh my god, when UW Gold chooses to take a site, they really do so. Sins, though, going down, guns a-blazing, gonna be taken down 2. Aru taking down another as well as the Sovas trade out eliminations. And we are left at 2 kills apiece, as the Killjoy ultimate is going to come down, and that's going to stave off any plant that could happen. And with A site, the spike is left in that possession.
30 seconds left.
I'm gonna say Prim intentionally did that to bait them, because I don't want to think of the other possibility here, as 20 seconds are about to be passed.
I think they accidentally ran in because there was no rotation from Light. Light was trying to go to the other entry point. They were trying to go for the archway. Now Prim might be caught in a 2v1 in Tree. He's going to back out. So now you're in an awkward position if you're Ottawa Gold. Do you force Tree or do you try to clear out who is on point? You know he's playing at the spike, and you know they're probably in hell based on where that was planted. And that recon ball isn't going to find them out.
Ooh. Light with the nifty shots from down under, but Prim is going to secure the round with 10 HP. And just barely, UW Gold keep the streak alive. 4 straight rounds for the offense.
There was that slight hesitation there that cost Ottawa Gold the round. They knew that Prim was pushing out, but instead they were still committed to trying to shoot into hell, but then they were just shooting up from the floorboard. They were shooting through the ceiling there. I mean, look at what happens there. Kaya wall banged, or I guess floor bangs, and you saw there just that slight flick of the wrist cost them just too much time, and unfortunately for them, Ottawa Gold, now they're going to have to go for a save round here.
Unfortunately for them, but very fortunately for UW, who is happy to take those save rounds. That's going to be Aru, not even given the chance to defend themselves, gets taken down trying to cross over, leaving Ottawa with just 4 members to try and play defense here, and 2 of them are in the middle of the map, far away from the spike plant. But it's going to be Kaya evening out the odds there, using the Sheriff, doing it what it does best, and that's take down opponents from a distance, even if that distance was 7 meters.
I was hit, so
Vex.
they're in just a really bad situation, and that looks like Shrug's gonna be run up on, but still is able to find 2.
Last player standing.
Uh-oh, Light gonna be finding a wallbang to take down Sins. Vexy trying to be the hero here, trying to find any kind of avenue, but none will be found. Vex gonna be taking down Vexy, and that's UW Gold with 5 straight rounds. And this is yet another near full buy for Ottawa's defense. So Ottawa, very intelligently, is going to be taking that time out to give themselves a chance to recoup, regroup, and figure out what's next to stop the bleeding.
I think just a big part of it is that when they're trying for those late buys and they have to save, they're not playing aggressive, which I feel like is the best play to go for, because odds are you're not going to win that round anyway, so you might as well try to go out swinging. You might as well try to take some weapons off the board away from UW Gold, but instead they're playing it like they have a full buy, and you saw they just got caught out a little bit. The KO's always going to be throwing in that knife to try to get a silence as well as get some information about where people are. Great for recon. I mean, this combination of the Sova and KO is basically all you could ever need. Throw in a Cypher, and then you've got the trifecta. But because of that, these angles just aren't the ways, or aren't the right ones that they want. And now they're going to have to go back to the drawing board a little bit. Like you said, it is a full buy. Things aren't out of control just yet. They are still getting really good trades here and there, so UW Gold doesn't exactly have the most solidified economy themselves. I think Prim might actually have to either have someone buy from them or go for Light buy. We'll see what they end up doing here. It looks like Light is going to give up some funds there to help make sure that everyone has that full buy so they do get it done. But I mean, you win this one, Ottawa Gold, you can bring it back pretty quickly. And you also have a Showstopper as well as an Omen Teleport to boot, so there is still a lot for you to use here.
We should also keep in mind that lockdown is in the back pocket of the offense here. And they are going to be teasing the defense, going to be playing around with A-Stipe and no spike in their control. So I'm going to be curious is how UW Gold uses this Killjoy ultimate. How's the lockdown going to be placed? Are they going to be saving this to try and take control of a site post-plant? Are they going to be using it to execute on the site? Are they going to use it for the famous bait and swing where they throw it down on point A or point B and swing to the other? Or maybe none of the above as the spike was picked up. It's moved over to B site. But again, slow and steady, just running into a bit of a guard this time as Aru was holding down that left click here on B long.
If I was a betting man, I would bet that it's going to be used pre-plant, and just as I say that, again, it does happen. I mean, this is the best way to use it. You try to clear out the point. And Kaya is really not in a good spot right now. Maybe he's able to find a little bit of safe haven in the back of Boathouse, but then it's just going to be the spray and pray.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it worked once, almost twice. That's Aru picking up an elimination, spray and praying with the Odin. And Ottawa Gold is going to have to retake against this UW lineup in a 4 versus 4. That shock arrow is just barely going to connect. Light gonna find a nice elimination there on the Sins. And Ottawa going to go for a splitting of the defense here. But Vex is going to find the opening, and that's going to be a 4K for Vex. The Jet from UW Gold stepping up big. And that's the 6th round for UW.
6 round in a row, 6 round overall. They're guaranteed at least a draw going into halftime again on what is a more defender-sided map. So these teams starting on attack have really found this edge early on. And again, Ottawa Gold, there's the indecisiveness. You can see there. They're worried about being flanked from market, but they're just getting flanked from the left side of point. They're all committed to right. No one is checking behind them. Because of that, they don't move fast enough. If they walk in, then maybe that flank really doesn't mean much of anything if they can find the kill on point, but just not quick enough. Another light buy, steal 2 ultimates, and I really wish they had used that Omen ultimate there. I think they could have checked Boathouse, trying to get some information, but instead, they're going to have a few more rounds to use it, 3 more exactly before halftime.
And those 3 rounds are going to sneak up on you, Jag. That's the thing. It's 6-3 now, but for all we know, this could end up 6-6. This could end up 9-3, and those are 2 very different outcomes going into the second half. Oh, Ottawa Gold not starting off strong here in round number 10 as they lose their Killjoy early on. And losing your Killjoy on defense is never going to be the best situation to be in. And as you lose your Sova as well, it's really just falling apart at the seams. Just trying to find any elimination they can with the eco they had. Light is going to be that one unfortunate pick. And now Ottawa Gold going to have to retake in a 4 versus 2 with some pretty negligible weapons available to him.
If you can get a kill here, that'd be great. You already got one, but if you're able to take out Vex's one, that'd be huge. But now everyone's peeking your way. Kip gonna be the one who finally is able to take down Sins. That is gonna be a lead guaranteed for UW Gold. If you're an Ottawa Gold fan, though, I wouldn't panic just yet. If you're able to bring back these 2 rounds, you're in a pretty good spot overall. But more importantly, we saw that they struggled on defense on the last map Bind. They were much better at attack. So again, this might be showing a little bit of their weakness with this composition, which is a bit surprising to me because although there is a lot of great entry here, I feel like with the Killjoy, you should have a pretty good defensive setup, but you know, the numbers don't lie, and thus far, Beanies, they have not had a great time.
Numbers do not lie, my friend, but they sure as heck are confusing, and that's why I stay away from them. But unfortunately, Ottawa Gold cannot do the same here. They gotta face the facts here. They gotta come, crunch the numbers, do what they can, but Ottawa, they're gonna be down in those numbers right now. I can do that quick math, and that's 4-3 with the spike going down for UW Gold.
They tried going for the Showstopper out of spawn, but there was no one there. Now they're going to be running into a Cosmic Divide. Seekers will give up some information, though they're going to be vulnerable as well as weak. Trailblazers are going to be used, but they're going to able to take out Shrug, so not all is lost, but it's going to be really hard to push into this Cosmic Divide.
Yeah, the cosmic divide makes everything harder. Can't hear, you can't see. All you can do is just push through and hope for the best. And now the best isn't looking too good for Sins here, who has a 2 versus 1 and loses that trade. It's going to be UW Gold sitting 8-3. And we have one more round before halftime.
Don't think that really Ottawa Gold can go for the full buy. They're going to force with what they have. And that's going to lead to some light armor buys. UW Gold, they have been solid. That is 8 rounds in a row. That is insane. What a great start to this map. What a great way to kind of recover after losing the last one. They're in the driver's seat for now. This would be a great round for Ottawa Gold to take. If they lose this one 9-3, that's when things get very dicey, especially if you lose the first 2 pistol rounds. That would be disaster for them after halftime.
Oh, Sins. Oh, Sins. Oh, Sins. Oh, my God. Sins got flashed. Sins got flashed. Sins got flashed. Oh, no. Sins. Vex is going to take him down with the Blade Storm. That's going to be 1 elimination. That could have been 2 for the defense.
No, caught out mid. Vex does fall in the end. It's a 4v3, and they know there's someone already away. It's only Kip. Kip gets 2. Can they clutch this?
Kip's gotten 2 already. 2 more are needed for Kip to secure this. They don't have to go for the defuse. They are able to just play out the time here. But that Killjoy lockdown is going to make it a heck of a lot harder. And as UW Gold finally drop around here, they got a nice lead out of it. 8-4 going into halftime with University of Waterloo in the lead.
And what can you do there if you're poor old Kip? You're stuck in hell. The spike's already been planted. It's the last round. You know the lockdown is going to get you. So at that point, you just try to play aggressive, try to catch them off guard. Unfortunately, at that time, immediately was taken down. But regardless, 8-4, a great round. An 8 rounds in a row train that seemed to never stop until the very end. And now the sides have swapped. Ottawa Gold going to be on their favorite side from what we saw last map. And they bring it back. Able to win this pistol round once again. It's going to be great for them to bring it back. I already know that UW Gold isn't afraid to force, so I'm sure going into that second round after this, if they win it, they're going to be expecting it this time around, if it happens.
Did we take a look at what Vex purchased there, Jag? Because Vex is going to be rolling out with the round 1 Sheriff. And that is always a personal favorite of mine because we get to see some highlight plays, or we're about to see a Sheriff end up in the hands of Ottawa Gold. And that can go either way at the drop of a hat, but the spike is going to be the main source of entertainment for this one, folks. It's going to be planted down on A site. Vex going to try and peek through the cloud, make that Sheriff useful. It gets 1, but was it worth it, folks? That's going to be a question for them in VOD review, because right now they have one thing to focus on, and that's the spike getting planted. But it's not down just yet. Ottawa Gold holding their finger, but Aru going to commit to it. Spike goes down, and the 2 versus 3 is fully commenced.
No abilities right now. They're all suppressed, but it does not matter. Kip, though, can they make it done? They have to go for the reload.
Oh, what? What's the right click doing, Jag?
Right, please. Right, why? But Kip, just amazing play there. I mean, Ottawa Gold, you have to run down as a 3-man stack there. Instead, everyone is playing different angles. You see there, they're all split up. It's going to be the headshot there, just beautifully done. 3 there to secure that round of 3v1 going the way of Kip, and it looks so good for Ottawa Gold. It looks like they were going to be able to bring one back. Instead, they're falling short. And now they are the ones who are going to be force buying here.
Round begins. A site is going to be the main location to start off, but no spike in control just yet. Just a Sova drone going to be scouting out the area. Not going to find anybody because the weak side Killjoy and KO are going to be sitting there pretty. Chinese Shrug, though, going to be getting that first elimination. Gives up their life, but commits to the kill. Beautifully done right there from the UW Gold Killjoy. Securing a second elimination for their life. And that's a 4 versus 2 here for UW Gold to continue to snowball their lead.
It's getting really intense right now. Ottawa Gold 4v2. bot here, and it's not working out. We've seen these force buys just never seem to really hit the mark they wanted to. And they don't know what to do with themselves. They're not exactly sure how to approach this. I think the call is probably try to take over mid, get a default pick there, but instead it looks like they are committed to this A site push.
Oh, there we go. Sova arrow to come out. Not gonna find anything. Vex
30
though.
seconds left.
Risky peek. Gonna be met with a bulldog shot or two in the leg.
Last player
The
standing.
KO ult, or excuse me, the KO flash is gonna come out. And just like that, both members of the offense drop. And University of Waterloo Gold get their 10th round. Double digits, folks. UW Gold looking real good, real pretty, and ready to take the second game.
The double digits already, 6-round lead. This is looking much more one-sided than the last matchup. The last game that was on Bind, and UW Gold, there isn't much that's going to stop them this round. Ottawa Gold, they're going to have to go for the Sheriff Bind. So everyone besides Kaya has committed to it thus far. Now they're going to join in on the fun. But Ottawa, or UW Gold is going to be able to keep their weapons from last round. So the Spectres, the Bulldogs, they have more weaponry to play with here, and it should get them across the finish line. But one thing I want to say really quickly is I haven't seen a KO in action since the buff, and I mean, he looks amazing right now, but just as I say that, oh, Kip gonna be just one-tapped.
Why'd you say something, Jack? Why'd you have to say anything about our friend? Because now he just got eliminated, and the caster curse continues to prove it is live and well. But Vex gonna even out those odds and take down Kaya. And Ottawa Gold, they find a lead, they lose their lead. UW Gold, they lose their lead, they take it right back.
Almost found out. They know there's people in tree. They know there's someone really weak. The question is, how do they approach it? It looks like, I mean, you see Vexy just, they're not committing to it fully. They need to piece this together.
Oh man, Chinese Shrug gonna go down there. A risky swing there for Sins, but they're able to make it work. And now the Bulldog ends up in Sin's hands. Very important here for Ottawa Gold to find themselves back into this game. They need to get kills. They need to pick up the guns those kills afford them. And with the spike down, they have the numbers. But Prim is looking to be the difference maker on this Astra. Coming through trees, Vex gonna be the one, the first final elimination. Foe returns fire as well. And with the 2 versus 2 coming out, all is left is UW Gold just has to play some more defense. UW Gold, they just have to take the site, come on.
One enemy remaining.
And there we go, UW Gold gonna be losing one member. But Vex with the classic, oh, the classic right click. It's strong, it's alive, it's well. And Vex gonna be jumping up onto the high ground, showing again what the classic can do in the right hand. And as the defuse comes through, there's gonna be more than enough time, folks. Drama is not going to be afforded to you. 1.71 seconds, plenty to spare, and UW Gold gets the clutch.
The exact same thing happened again. Ottawa Gold, again, has the site. They have a numbers advantage. And what happens is they just don't peek it together. I think there, if you're foe, you gotta run out, try to help your teammate in tree instead of holding the site. Instead, you play defensively, and once again, you end up falling. I mean, Riot says they try to get rid of peeker's advantage. It's just, it's so hard to do that in any sort of video game. If you're the one moving, you're always gonna have that kind of first shot, first view. Now Vex, speaking of first view, has this operator set up.
Just waiting for a chance, going to have to end up using the first shot on that Sova drone. And then Vex forced to actually blow the dash. So now Vex, without one of the crucial cooldowns of the Jet operator, now gonna have to rely on pure skill. But Vex taking over control here, say, don't worry, bud, I got it. I'll take it, don't worry. I got this under control. 2 kills, fine. But Prim gonna be giving up their life here. Sin's gonna take it over. Showstopper comes into effect. No elimination, but some damage for sure. No damage onto Kip either. And this is just not looking good for Ottawa. As you can see, they're split up across the map. The Killjoy is in center. Maybe gonna be getting a flank here, but the spike has to go down, and they have yet to make it onto site. As Sova throws out the drone.
Bot assist.
Great bot there is able to find out exactly where someone is coming from mid, and like you said, they are split, but the question is, can the 2 players that are on point play together?
30 seconds left.
Spike is being planted. Is UW Gold gonna freak out and try to flush out that flank, or are they all gonna play on point? It looks like they do a little bit of both.
Oh, the operator is going to be needed to make this happen. The operator is going to be that one-shot, one-kill criteria that they can use. Vex finding one, but have two more that they have to get through. Have to be risky peeks right here. No, you walked in at the same exact time. That was perfect for Sins. Exactly what they wanted. The collateral comes in, and now Chinese Shrug just misses out the Odin elimination. And Ottawa Gold find their footing, and they're starting to make their comeback.
Staying alive. Well, we'll see if it's a comeback because they have a tall mountain to climb right now. If they wanna, I want to say we get to 8 rounds. Yeah. I was thinking the exact same thing basically. When they get to 8 rounds, then I think we can start calling it a comeback. Then they've brought the game close enough where it is possible that they're able to actually win out. And I think the biggest thing is that even though UW Gold has won so many rounds because they've lost so many members along the way, their economy is not stable enough to really contest this. Which actually means that Ottawa Gold has a good chance of at least getting another one back, but they will have to deal with this Blade Storm.
Oh, that Blade Storm, and they didn't have to deal with much at all. Sins took care of it pretty handily. Vex getting eliminated at the hands of the paint canister. And now the offense, they're taking it slow, using the time that they've afforded themselves because you're up 5 versus 3. And even though this is normally the time teams can press go, the fact that it's 11-5, the fact that Ottawa has such a mountain to climb has to be weighing on their minds. And they know they cannot afford to make many more mistakes. And Foe going to do what they can to minimize those mistakes. Swings the corner, does not find the elimination, but Vexy able to trade out the kill, and that is plenty of value in of itself. When you're scraping at the bottom of the barrel, you just need rounds.
Yep, this wall banged out, and I agree with you completely. I mean, there they had the guiding light up, and then they decided not to go with it, so they probably could have saved their own life if they had gone with the flash, but instead, they're just gonna play with what they have. The 4v2, it's still pretty winnable. I think that the thing is you have to cover all your angles, and Kaya on this flank should be able to find out the KO does. And now it's only Prim. Gets 2? What? Not again, not like this. Ottawa, not like this.
Oh, Prim, you can't do it to him. You gotta be a little bit generous, a little merciful. Ottawa, they're looking to stay alive in this round. They're looking to prevent the match point, or excuse me, the game point from being triggered. And they're gonna do just that. The team ace is gonna come through from Ottawa, and they're gonna stave off that 12th round win for UW Gold yet again.
I was having flashbacks there. I was thinking about how many times we've seen that scenario play out, the 2v1 that Ottawa Gold continues to lose there. They're able to stay alive. Not only that, they don't even trade anyone out. They get both members still breathing. Their economy is good enough for them to buy, but so is UW Gold. This is such a pinnacle round here, Beanies. Said 8 rounds was kind of the marker when we'll know if they're actually making a comeback. UW Gold, the number they have here is 12. They get up to that end. Even if Ottawa Gold can make a comeback, we'll go to OT, so this is very important right here for both teams.
And you can tell both teams understand the importance there. No aggressive moves coming out from UW Gold on the defense here. Caution being shown from the Ottawa Gold offense. A-Site, again, being the one toyed with. Is overloaded, going to be just a zoning ultimate this time around. And KO not going to be doing too much. Now, Jag, look at how the offense is moving yet again. They love taking A-Site. They love taking control of trees. And KO has to be expecting this. Kip has to be fully aware, that this is going to be happening. And the two that he scanned, the two that KO actually scanned are going to be the ones coming from A-Long. So this trees push might still be unknown to the defense. UW Gold, this is going to be the moment where the camel breaks the straw. Whatever the saying is, it's going to matter. Until it's backed away there by UW Gold. Just barely, the defense chooses to forego the sight hold. And look at that. Look at that. Kip giving up that angle pays dividends because that kill is going to go over to the defense in mid. And Light adding on to that as well. It's going to be UW Gold just taking over control of this site here. 21 HP. Foe is looking to make something magical happen. But this isn't 34th Street, my friends. This is the 12th round win for UW Gold, and this is game 2 point.
And I have a good feeling we're going to be going to Icebox for that tiebreaker map unless Ottawa Gold can pull out something really amazing to their economy. I mean, Foe can't buy anything besides a Sheriff. Sins probably can't buy that much either. Might commit to the judge buy? Nah, they can't, because then they can't even get light armor. So I mean, things are just overall not looking super hot for Auto Gold, and it's really that first pick again. They always seem to lose someone early on. They really don't need to. There was Kyle, a very aggressive pull on mid, tried to stop any rotation, and actually Kit was running in and out their weapon up. They were just trying to switch back to it, and they still were able to win that gunfight.
Foe with the sheriff here. It never feels good, Jag. It never feels good having that sheriff in the potential last round. But that's the only weapon you have to defend yourself. It's not gonna feel too pretty, but both Killjoy lockdowns gonna be thrown out. The Venn diagram created and disappears. And just like that, we're gonna be having ourselves a push onto A site. But Light is gonna take that and return fire. Prim as well. UW Gold, they were ready for this, Jag. They knew what was coming. They had the equipment, they had the utility, and they have the kills coming through with only 2 members left to take down. UW Gold, they're just shooting fish in a barrel at this point, and those fish are gonna be swimming 6 feet under because UW Gold send us to game number 3.
We've seen some crazy things in this series. We've seen a 6-kill ace. We've seen a team ace that just came out one of the few past rounds ago, and now we've seen a 1-1 tie when all is said and done. 13-6 is the final scoreline here on Ascent, and that was the Waterloo squad we are used to. That is the Waterloo squad that we expected to come out. I mean, there were a few, a few rounds where it was touch and go, but I mean, those clutch plays that they came out with were insane.
I mean, look at Vex's combat score, coming in just under a 350 average combat score, putting in work to make amends for UW Gold's Game 1 loss, and very much so doing it justice, coming out with that 13-6 score. And now, as we look ahead to that third map of Icebox, this is truly anybody's game. University of Ottawa taking on University of Waterloo Gold just after this.
Giving up, letting go. Times we might feel compelled. Looking down from the heights that we have built all by ourselves. And there is fear of the unknown, but we cannot lose control. When we feel like the world is against us, we're trying to find ourselves without the defining words. We can no longer hold on to what only makes us hurt. We cannot sink into the dark. The vertigo is getting sharp. There's something greater than ourselves that we must reach for. Into the internet that we must reach. 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 Now which way do we go is the question to ask. There are so many choices that it's hard not to look past. What is real and what is fake, and the risk we have to take. Will we know what is throwing off our balance? We're trying to find ourselves without the defining words. We can no longer hold on to what only makes us hurt.
Welcome back to the stream, everybody. It's Beanies and Jag here, bringing Game 3 in this heck of an opener to the CF1 Collegiate Valorant season, as we have University of Waterloo Gold going 1-1 against the likes of Ottawa University. And now, in game number 3 here, Jag, we're going to be taking ourselves over to Icebox.
Yeah, and this isn't really anyone's pick. The way that the ban system works, it's kind of just what's left over after all of the bans are done and all the picks have already been made. So no one necessarily got to pick this map, but there was a side that was chosen, and it was Ottawa that picked defense on this side, so on this map. So they will get that advantage going into this, and you know, it's kind of a tale of two different maps that we've seen so far. Bind, Ottawa picked that. They had a strategy going in, they executed it really well on Ascent. They tried to do the exact same strategy minus one. They traded out for a Killjoy, and that didn't really work out for them. So they're going to have to go back to the drawing board. And we saw the KO come out, and the KO looks really, really good on the side of Waterloo. So we'll have to see if they stick with that going into Icebox. I don't think they will. I'm expecting more of a Viper, Sage, Reyna kind of composition, but you know, with these two teams, who knows? We've seen them make picks that neither of us expected thus far, so I'm sure we'll see something that surprised us going into this one as well.
I mean, we could, but for all we know, we could just see Ottawa copy and paste their comp from the last map, from the previous map, essentially, into Icebox here. And something I'd really love to see come out in Icebox, considering how often it is played on Icebox, is the Viper. And we already see Prim is going to be locking that in right away, and Klaus is going to be doing the same exact thing for Ottawa University, but not going to be as quick a lock-in as 3/5 of Ottawa's team is going to come back in. 3/5 of University of Waterloo comes in, and from these early picks, anything surprising you, Jag? Anything catching that eye? Reyna and Vex. I remember that from last season, and that's a deadly duo.
Yeah, and I think that what's surprising me is Vexy sticking to the Killjoy. Killjoy, I feel like, isn't as strong on this map as some of the other units. I feel like what UW Gold is running basically the standard comp of what you see on Icebox. Viper takes over as your primary controller. You use her to cut off sight as well as the Sage wall. And she's just got a lot of utility the Viper does here to really set you apart. The Reyna is really, really good here because whether it's wide out in the open like B or more enclosed like point A, her leers are just so good at causing people to have to run away or, you know, making them blinded so they get completely caught off guard. Reyna is just a really good pick here. The Killjoy, I don't think it's the way to go, but I mean, we'll see how it ends up. It's not the worst pick in the world by any means. I just think the Reyna is a much better one here.
Well, if you ask me, my uneducated opinion, Reyna go burr, Reyna shoot, and Reyna good. You know, I just love watching some Reyna plays, and Vex is one of the best Reynas we have here in Conference 1, coming in from last season, still maintaining that status here, and I can't wait to see if they can back up the hype that I'm giving them, because in this Game 3, you gotta put your money where your mouth is, Vex.
One thing I talked about earlier is that when you do run this double duelist, the Reyna is really a standout. I feel like your Jet is more on a support role in this case. Like, you're not like the duelist that you used to be. You're more just playing for the operator if possible. As they cut off connector, that's actually a really good play from that Sage. Now they're going to try to push through mid, and it's going to be shots being traded already.
Oh, Foe gonna be getting first blood. Aru joining in as well. Gonna be 2 kills going over for Ottawa Gold. And this defense here has control of the spike. A big drop. And I feel like that could almost seal the deal here. Unless Chinese Shrug has something to say about it. May have spoken too soon here. But the Sage can only do so much. Battle Sage is but a distant memory here. And UW Gold fall. Ottawa taking first round.
And I'm wondering there, was UW Gold trying to go through connector, or did they want to push up through low ground on mid in any way and then just try to play for a default pick? If they were trying to go through connector, that was an amazing wall to completely cut off their plan, and then they kind of scrambled a little bit. And if they're just trying to go through mid, it just didn't seem like the shots were there. They traded a little bit, but then one felt really weak. I think it was Prim who felt really weak early on. They didn't check really the site as well. I think they were trying to look towards A, but then they got caught off guard by everyone rotating towards them. This pistol round not going their way, but here on this second round, they're going to try to take over A.
They're going to try, and they're going to get some respect as well. Doing so, Jag, it's going to be a quick S key coming out of Ottawa Gold's lineup, specifically their Killjoy. And that's going to work just fine. Foe playing with fire right there, going to get out of harm's way, get the heal, and that's crucial. As UW Gold is going to lose Vex. And that's a big loss to their squad, but they can even out the odds at 4 agents apiece. And look at how the defense is moving, Jag. Look at where they're going. They're going to have to turn and head back to A and make it quick because the site is going to fall into the wrong hands. No, the go button was not hit in time. UW Gold did not press onward fast enough. And they lose 2 members and potentially lose out on this round.
This is where the Killjoy thrives. You give her time to set up her abilities, and she will just completely destroy you with her nano swarms, with her alarm bot, and Prim is going to end up falling there. I'm going to still stick to my guns here. I think the Reyna is a better pick overall, but you're seeing why the Killjoy is picked in this comp, especially when you're starting on defense. Just so much utility to really stop anyone from going in. And I think you brought up a beautiful point there, is that they were given a lot of respect despite the fact that they didn't really have much to work with. And even with that space, they just didn't move fast enough.
It's not pretty looking at the UW Gold scoreline right now, I will say. Chinese Shrug is doing great, 3-2, but then you got the goose eggs underneath. 4 is not the score you want to be looking for when you count those goose eggs up. But now a change of scenery here coming out from the offense. They've tried twice. A has not worked for them. Now B site's going to be where they try to make this full buy round get a lot of value for them, because even if UW Gold takes this round, they can't afford to give up the guns that they just bought. And you can see that life is valuable to the jet of UW Gold. Light takes down the flanker.
This is what you want from this comp if you're UW Gold. You get the Sage Wall up to get the free plant. You use the Viper Wall to separate everyone else. And now it's up to the defenders that have to make a move here on B to try to run into this. You see the slower being thrown in, but I don't think they realize there's going to be someone right around that wall. No, they're not. They don't even get the trade. They do, but it's a 4v2, 3v2.
Last player standing.
Oh, make that a 2v0. It's UW Gold. They're going to take their first round of Icebox, and they got themselves on the board.
Still a pretty good round, though, from Ottawa Gold, even though they lost it. UW Gold, they play their advantage. They execute the comp perfectly. That's what you want to do every time, but they get a lot of guns out of the hands of UW Gold. It makes them buy again. And now they have an operator online, so we'll have to see where Foe ends up playing. It looks like they're going to be holding down A. The biggest thing for UW Gold on this side is that Resurrection is already online. Shrug has been exceptional with this Sage.
Oh, Foe gonna be starting us off with a nice one-shot, flexing that jet operator combo, tried and true. Ottawa Gold, the defense opening up with a nice elimination is gonna afford them a lot of space. But that space they were afforded is quickly taken away, and actually, Chinese Shrug is single-handedly keeping UW Gold in this round with the res, with the elimination, flipping the scales into UW's favor.
Foe just gave up that angle. Could have tried to stop that res, but instead backed off, trying to play this high ground all the way back. And they're gonna fall to Vex. Vex has the perfect angle in Ottawa Gold. Gonna give up that gonna give up the point. 5v3. It's gonna be really hard for them to try to move back onto this.
Yeah, and look at Kip picking up the operator. Oh, just missing the kneecap of, I believe that's Aru. Yes, Aru, and just missing another elimination there onto the Sage for Ottawa as well.
Shot down.
Ooh, and Klaus gonna be picking up one. Excuse me, picked off as one. I spoke. But Ottawa Gold now going to be doing the ones picking off, taking down one, left with just one of their own. And the spike is slowly but surely gonna tick down. And Waterloo is gonna even up the game yet again. And Jag, I want to say as the spike goes down, this is the third game where we've seen Team A come out ahead and take 2-3 rounds, and then Team B just fire right back. And it feels like these early games consistently are just these two teams jockeying for control of the economy, of the score. And the second half, or not even the second half, the later stages of this round is really where we start to see it kick off.
First of all, I hope they find Paul wherever he is, because, you know, those members are missing from this base. But secondly, I agree with you completely. It seems like the first round, or the first half, is very volatile, and then, like, one team gets a leg up on the other team, and then from there, it's a bit of a one-sided affair. It was a bit closer in the first map, as UW Gold was able to get 8 when all was said and done, but still, a lead that was big enough to secure near the end for UW Gold, and they were able to take their own map. Now Ottawa Gold, they have to try to defend this well, but UW Gold, they're already pushing up. They made a lot of noise at B. Thought for a second it might be a bait, but no, they are going to try to get that plant here once more.
Spike planted.
Oh, that's going to be the plant getting dropped. The wall gets taken down as well. This is maybe, Jag, the first clean 5v5 we're actually getting on the site here, as nobody's been picked off too early. Oh my gosh, how's that free haircut doing for you, bud? Foe just barely missing out on an elimination there, but Chinese Shrug not going to squander that opportunity. 3 eliminations at the hand of the Sage with the Vandal, and only 1 member of the defense is left alive. Scratch that. None are going to be left standing, and UW Gold, the offense, they come out ahead 3-2.
Okay, can we talk about this really quickly? Shrug once again has Resurrection.
Anything.
So that is what, like 2 within 5 rounds?
Wow.
That is insane. That is absolutely mind-boggling,
That is-
especially because it's one of the most expensive ultimates in the game.
That is 9 eliminations on top of consistent spike plants, on top of decisive res using. So even as the res is acquired, Chinese Shrug isn't holding it, isn't waiting, threw it down to resurrect, I believe, Foe 2 rounds ago, and already having it back up. There's so many factors that go into making sure you get that ultimate value. And I mean, decisiveness is at the top of that list. But Sins, hesitating on their decision, going to be holding off, peeking around that corner. And A-Site's going to be clear and true for UW Gold. Not going to have to wander, not going to have to look around for anybody straggling on the site, but that Hunter's Fury going to cause a problem or two. The spike will get planted, though.
Does find out Vex, but Vex is a ring and it can go for that self-heal if they're able to get the Soul Orb on the ground, but it'll have to be part of a kill for that to be done. Find out where Vex is once more. They're able to take out the Reyna. In this operator battle, we might finally see it happen. And no, Kip's gonna be the one to fall too. This is looking great for Ottawa.
Oh, that's looking fantastic with Vexy taking down Light. Just peeking, gonna be taking down Prim as well. And the defuse comes out, but Chinese Shrug not even taking a moment break, even on a round that ends up going over to University of Ottawa, excuse me, Ottawa Gold. It's going to be University of Waterloo that gets the few frags at the end.
Shrug has just come online, has been the absolute carry. We were talking about Vex, who, you know, I feel like Vex and Kip, these 2 duelists, they've kind of been underperforming thus far. You usually expect them to have the highest kills in the lobby, both of them sitting at only 1 kill and 5 deaths. It doesn't matter when your Sage is just, yeah, well, now they're going to do amazing. That's how it's going to work, right? But regardless, they do have the Empress, they do have the Hunter's Fury, and they still have that res, which is still insane that they've had 2 so quickly in this matchup. There, they don't get to use it, but those 2 exit frags, very important for economy purposes.
Oh, Light gonna be taking the economy into their own hands. You don't need to spend any money to get that Hunter's Fury, my friend. And that's gonna be used taking down 1 member of the defense. Kip, a beautiful line of sight there, getting up on the high ground, locations that only Jet are able to get to with this operator. And Aru jiggles the shot. Somehow, Aru gets out alive. And now that opens up a little bit of an opportunity here for Ottawa Gold to retake, and Chinese Shrug falling. The hottest member on UW Gold right now is going to be down, leaving it up to the remaining 3. And they're going to be doing just great with that pressure on their shoulders. Aru, the remaining member of the defense, gets taken down. And University of Waterloo gets a 4-3 lead to hold on to.
Their alt bank is so good. The economy for Ottawa is not very good. They could try to go for a half buy, a Frankenstein buy if they really want to. It looks like they're not going to. They're going to just spend what they can while still having enough to buy for next round. This feels a lot like the first map, especially when, you know, it just was this game of cat and mouse and they kept trading back and forth, and then eventually Ottawa kind of was able to break away. But this time it is UW Gold who is ahead of the pack, and really, they have all the advantages going into this round. Again, never say never. 30 rounds are a thing for a reason, but that first ultimate is going to come out early on. The Blade Storm going to be used.
Bladestorm thrown out, and the double jump going to be used. No return on that investment, so the utility has been spent, and now Kip is going to look to get the good old-fashioned Bladestorm elimination. Just walking on your own 2 feet and firing out a left click. Maybe hitting right click if you get scared. Speaking of getting scared, Vex is making sure Sins is fearing for their life, taking them down. Not going to get the full heal off because of the wonky angle of the elimination, but nonetheless extends the Empress's lifetime and keeps this round going for UW Gold. Woo! That Marshall shaved a few years off my life too, I will say. But no eliminations to be found yet for the defense. This foe gets just one, and that's all they're going to get. UW Gold, yet again, taking the round here, and they're 5-3 up.
And the Marshall is actually a really underrated weapon. Personally, I'm not good at sniper rifles, so I don't touch it, but you see pros like Yay from Team Envy. I wonder why I'm mentioning them, but they can make that weapon work any day of the week, especially because they have the aim to get those headshots. You see here, they're just kind of hip firing it, hoping they can get a shot. It's not going to be enough there, especially when you're going into a full range of Vandals and Phantoms. And it's going to be another round for UW Gold. They're going to extend their lead a little bit, but this seems like the most important round I'd say thus far, because Auto Gold, they win this, they can stabilize and, you know, be able to fight for it for a little bit more. UW Gold, they get this, again, 6 rounds, guaranteed at least a tie, worst comes to worst, and they still have 2 ultimates.
Foe gonna be taking one. Oh, but never turn your back to the audience, Foe. You gotta make sure you're always cheating forward, my friend. And Prim is actually going to get picked up because of what we talked about a round or 2 ago, Jag. And that's Chinese Shrug's ability to constantly have this ultimate available. And you see it right there being used to pay dividends, even though Chinese does in fact go down. But the spike is the main target here, the main priority for Ottawa, and the main defense of UW Gold.
And point out, they have the lockdown. They also have the res. They could try to go for one. They do go for one, so it is an advantage for Ottawa Gold, but immediately they lose one. 3v2. Viper's Pit is gone now, so there's full vision for the defenders.
Oh, and speaking of full vision, that spike defuse is going to be in full vision of the recon dart, and not much left for Ottawa Gold to do but sit there and just hope that they get mercy. But no, Prim is not a merciful one, and neither is the spike. Everyone's taken down, but UW Gold gets the win.
They get the prize at the end of the rainbow, despite the fact that they lose their lives. They still can buy. This is perfect for them, and we've seen this so many times. Ottawa Gold, they have the member advantage. They have more agents alive, but they just cannot find that clutch factor. And I think, again, it comes down to the angles they're holding. They had the Sage Wall. Wasn't the best Sage Wall in the world. There was cracks where they could just peek through, and they had one member sitting and looking towards the cargo crate when they really should have been holding both angles on that wall, so that way their Sage was protected. And after that Sage died trying to defuse, it was over, but Shrug going to be taken out, and the Blaze are going to be popped.
Can we talk about that? Hello? I guess we'll catch that in the highlight reel, because holy moly, what a headshot. But Light, we're not going to be seeing that one in the highlight reel. Missing 2 separate kill opportunities there, but is able to get some damage down, so not value entirely lost here, as UW Gold have controlled the site and they have flipped the map, or I should say Ottawa Gold have flipped the map, and maybe to their detriment here, because Kip was ready for that peak.
It's the kill on the weakest member, though, so that healing orb was used on the Killjoy, who almost fell, so now they're at pretty good health pool, and they're going to take out Prim, so the healer are going to find value already, but this spike is continuing to tick down. They need to make some moves here, but Kip is above. Kip gets an ace! I think that's that voice line from Jet really says it all. You should have seen your faces. They had no idea that was coming. They did not look behind. And every time it seems like Ottawa Gold can get their foot in the door, it is immediately slammed shut. Another hero play by a member of Waterloo Gold. Now they're going to have a guaranteed lead. Another ace. We've seen so many different kinds of aces today. That's in a B5. And UW Gold, I mean, there is a buy from Ottawa Gold, but it really does feel like they're starting to run away with this one.
And Jag, the crazy thing that I just want to point out about that is it wasn't a mechanically amazing play that made that happen. That was pure game sense. You could have had a bronze player sitting there as long as they had that kind of mentality and they were able to read their opponents. But that's the difference here. That's what makes these players so good. That's what puts them in our Radiant and Immortal tier for CF1 competition. Is it's not just mechanics, it's game sense, it's knowledge, it's patience, it's so much more. And UW Gold is encompassing all of that here as they have a 7-3 lead, and round 11 is looking like it's going to be headed towards A site.
Pip has just been unstoppable. Doesn't matter if it's the KO or the Jet, they can play different kinds of roles. Vex does take out Sin, so that's again going to be an advantage for the attackers. Just Pip isn't super impressive thus far. Had great plays, but now Vex making a name for themselves. You said they were a great Reyna. We haven't really seen a ton of that so far, but 2 kills going to be great. But Kip again on the flank!
Stop. Stop it, Kip. Stop it, Kip. Jeez, let them have at least a moment to think about their path, what they can do. Oh no, the operator, the flawless, it's all falling apart for Ottawa Gold. University of Waterloo, 8-3 in Jag. This is the last round of the half.
Yeah, and 9-3 is not a great look. I mean, right here, Kip is able to dash out. You saw that foe trying to hold that angle, but the cloud smoke comes up, someone rotates behind. They probably have a pretty good idea of where that operator is being played, and they don't even keep the operator. UW Gold says, we don't need this. Get rid of it, and now it looks like foe's gonna have to settle for that Marshall. This is looking very, very good for UW Gold and very disastrous for Ottawa.
A site. Again, it looks like it's going to be a quick, decisive choice for the offense. UW Gold, look at that Kip dashing into the high ground, dashing onto a spot again that you can only find the Jet at. And she's going to get a elimination off that risky play. Now the spike's going to get planted as well. Oh, trying to challenge, but getting a little too big for their britches there.
One enemy remaining.
And it's just one after another here, Jag. It's like watching toy soldiers, just 1, 2, 3. UW Gold taking down Ottawa Gold. And that's 9-3 at halftime. UW Gold looking just as good in game 3 as they did in game 2.
I want to go back to Shrug really quickly. They got 3 reses when all was said and done. They didn't use the last one because it was in the last round, but I'm sure they could have gotten a 4th if they had used that second one a bit earlier. Didn't need to because of how dominant they were. This Sage is completely changing the game for UW Gold. They have just, I'd say them and Kip have really been the stars of this map in particular, but can they bring it home? If they were able to win this pistol round, set themselves up in a great spot to really just end this series. But Ottawa Gold, there is still a light. It's dim, but it's there. See what they can do on the attack.
Yeah, if I could think of the artist who sang "Shine Bright Like a Diamond," I would shout them out right now. But unfortunately, I can't. So hopefully, you could shine bright like gold, and maybe, just maybe, keep yourselves alive here on the offense, Ottawa's. The squad is going to be taking a page out of UW's book, committing to the fast A-site push. And you can see Aru going to be taking down their counterpart. Light going to fall. Prim returning the favor here. The 3 members, I should say, excuse me, of University of Waterloo are going to be up for a task as the spike gets planted. And now it's a 2 versus 4.
But great one-way. Kip did not see that coming. Shrug gonna try to do Shrug things, but only has a sliver of health. Is able to find one. Can they find the second? No, that member was so weak, but Vexy from behind. Gonna put that away. Ottawa Gold. That light, a little bit brighter. Still pretty dim overall, but they are not dead in the water quite yet. And UW Gold, they don't have to force spot here. I was gonna say, if Ottawa loses that last round, I think they have to force spot just to stop any chance of them getting snowballed the rest of this, but now they can breathe just a little bit.
Yeah, and that's got to be very big for this squad who started out the series 1-0. They went to Bind, the map that they chose. They were ready. They were prepared. And they took down University of Waterloo. And we were saying, hey, this Ottawa squad, taking down our runners-up from CF1 Spring. They're a force to be reckoned with.
Okay. Okay, Light. Okay. What?
The man was in the drone! The man just won the drone! Why'd you have to do him like that, Light? What? I mean, the rest of this round is kaputs after that beauty. UW Gold 3-1 up in the agent screen, and they have the spike in their hand. And Jag, whatever point I was making at the start of this round is irrelevant, because I'm just going to be thinking about that Sova 2 dart all night.
Who wins in a gunfight? Is it 5 Spectres or 1 Shock Dart Arrow? And the answer is that Shock Dart Arrow has completely set up UW Gold to take what will be a thrifty round. Only foe left. They know the spike is being guarded pretty closely. I don't think anyone's really covering this angle now. Shrug going to be turning their attention to it, but foe's going to be walking into a landmine of situation.
Thrifty.
Oh, the thrifty, Jag. That's a big round take for UW Gold. Losing the first round of the half, able to stabilize, get this round win under their belt. And let's take another look at Light here. You see the first arrow come out. The second one, the shorter, the less charged arrow. 2 separate lineups that Light had to make sure were perfect for that to happen. And my God, Light did just that. Very nicely done by the Sova on University of Waterloo.
And honestly, that might be the nail in the coffin right there. We'll have to see how this plays out, but should have been around that Ottawa wins. Could have gone to 5-9, but instead, UW Gold going to hit double digits. And just a big shout out to our spectator, our observer, Juke, for that angle. I know he loves to get those shots where you follow the projectile in there. It was perfect.
And now Kip with the Spectre going to be breaking open this first round, or this first blood of the round, excuse me. The Marshall in hand, though, not going to be finding too much, and it's not going to be what we got used to with UW Gold here, folks. We got used to Waterloo on the offense, taking a look at A site, maybe enjoying the scenery for a second or two, but then hitting that nitrous and sending themselves onto point to get the spike down. Here with Ottawa, they're still heading towards A site. They're still looking to hit that go button. But it just doesn't feel as decisive. It just doesn't feel as quick as we've seen University of Waterloo do with it. But maybe they just need a chance for Klaus to get them an opening. That's the Light as well. They just waited for the commit. The bait of the first elimination was used so well by the defense there. And it was just fish in a barrel after that.
Shout out for the Guardian kill, though. That was pretty cool. So at least, you know, Claws can, you know, keep that on their resume that they were able to get that one.
Yep.
I usually don't see Guardian kills. They're very far and few between, so it's a nice little
Check
thing
off
that you
the
get to see.
Guardian for its CF1 appearance.
Yeah, you got to get CF1 bingo going at some point. But I think here we're seeing why the Killjoy isn't as advantageous. She just cannot enter a site like a Reyna can. Reyna with those leers so much better. You can use the Nano Swarm to try to clear off an area, but it's not going to get you the same sort of utility. It's going to do damage, but it's not going to take space as well because you're still able to see clearly. You're still able to do things pretty well. Sins, though, and Claw is going to be able to do things very well. 2 headshots. And this is what UW Gold needs to stay, or what Ottawa Gold needs to do to stay alive.
Light getting themselves out of a bad spot there with the recon arrow attached to them. You can see the jet from Ottawa Gold going to be sitting there at the top of A site, holding the angle off camera. But Kip going to be the one holding this in mid and not going to find an elimination. Chinese Shrug, though, with the aggressive hold going to make amends. Trading 1 for 1, but still, that's not perfect. Because it's going to be a still 3 versus 1. And B site is going to be held by Kip firmly in their grasp. But it's going to be an A-site plan, and if I had to wager it, I don't think Kip's going to be getting too anxious to take this 3 versus 1.
Yeah, I think Kip's going to try to save here, and I don't think there's anything much else he can do. Actually, so this is a strategy that we see a few times, is that they just throw the operator off the map, so no one can have it, but looks like actually they're going to be holding on to it, so never mind with that one. I thought they might be trying to just get rid of it so it doesn't fall into anyone's hands, and instead they'll try to see if they can find something here. This is a pretty good angle to have if you're a jet. You don't really have to worry too much about being found out from behind. Looks like probably not going to be found out at all. That spike is going to go off. Ottawa Gold, they're going to need quite a few more rounds like that to have a shot at getting back into this game, but they've avoided Doomsday for now at least. That 12th round will not come into fruition. What can they do to keep this going? Still lost 2 members along the way. Can those 2 members buy? That's going to be the big question. If they can't full buy, it's going to be pretty dangerous going forward. It looks like Vexy cannot. Neither can Sin, so they're going to have to make some interesting decisions here about their economy, and the fact that Kit's able to keep that operator means they don't have to spend, means they can buy for someone else.
And when you get into the details of that, where you can start buying for your teammates because you're just staying alive for so long, that's when you see the value of preserving your life and not going for those aggressive peaks for the sake of, you know, backing up, maybe challenging at a later point. Or you could take the foe approach and hit Q, hit E, and then, you know, you're back at spawn waiting for round, what is that, 17 to come? 18? Yeah, round 18 to come, because we're in 17 right now. But Vexy going to have to try and pick up the slack for the fallen Jet on this squad. And oh, why do you do that? Don't switch your gun with your knife. You don't need to.
Well, guys don't switch their knife with their gun when they're trying to run it down points. That's going to be a resurrection for Sins, but is it enough? It's a 4v3, the spike in Sins' hands, and they have that turret to stop any sort of flank. But as you see, there is pretty good mid control from UW Gold for now. Kip is also holding the sightline very well on it. No one is at B, so if there's any time to go B, this is the time. Try to take it before the rotation comes in. Instead, they're actually going to force onto A with this lockdown, it looks like. There's going to be a commitment any moment now, unless it's a bait. They have just held on to it, and I think it's because they were just found out.
Us?
But there it is coming in.
30 seconds.
Yeah, they were just trying to play a trick on you, Jag. They wanted to make sure you were on your toes. You know, is he gonna do it? Is the lockdown coming down? But it comes down. It's a zoning ultimate, but that's the job it needs to do because it gains entry to the point. Ottawa throws up the sage wall, and that's gonna be a spike plant. Momentarily? I say that, but it's not guaranteed. The shorty, oh my god, the spike plant doesn't come down at all. It's a teammate for University of Waterloo, and they're at series point.
Match point.
Alright, Beanies, I don't know about you, but I've never seen 2 team aces in one series, so this is a pretty crazy precedent. This series has been just insane to watch, and I'm sure I'm enjoying it just as much as the people watching at home right now. Kip, they have a great play just to walk through the cloud smoke with the shorty, find that final elimination. Now Ottawa Gold, because of that decision they had to make about the areas that they force, if they save, their economy is all over the place. Three Vandals. I think I saw a Sheriff as well as a Marshal. And they are not going to get that first kill, so things already looking more dire. They do trade, though.
Sins is going to be taking down Prim, so that's very much beneficial for Ottawa. I say that, I was a little hesitant because Chinese does in fact return the favor, taking down 1. So we're left with a 3 versus 3 here as UW Gold, they have themselves match point in their sights. They have the res if they get a safe death, but Kip is going to be dropped in a risky spot. Oh, and the decay is going to be taken away. Claus is going to be taken out of the matchup. And with Chinese Shrug showing up big, a 3K, a 4K, Chinese Shrug just takes it into their own hands and steps up massively for this Game 3 victory.
Who needs a resurrection? We can just get 4 kills to close it out. I mean, if they had been pushed after that decay, when they were in that Viper's pit, they were at 1 health, but no one followed up. Instead, they played back. They tried to play the point, and again, it cost them. I feel like we saw a bit of indecision from Ottawa here and there. We saw a bit of them not being on the same page when it came to peaking, and even though they did great on that first map, these last 2 did not go their way. Still, a great performance. I mean, the fact that they took a map off of the reigning runners-up is a pretty good idea of where they're going to be in this season. I mean, it could definitely be a playoff contender, depending on how they do. I think they have a few things to tighten up, a few things to fix going forward, but overall, very solid performance with Waterloo. I mean, they brought it back really strong near the end. It seems like that first map didn't even phase them.
No, not at all. You could tell that even though Bind is a map obviously everyone prepares for, they were a little thrown off by what Ottawa came out with. And come Game 2 and Game 3, we got to see an entire flip of the switch here. University of Waterloo woke up. They had the chance for Vex to carry, or excuse me, not Vex, for Kip to pop off big in that last game. Chinese Shrug popping off massively in this game. I mean, look at the combat score, 334 on your Sage? Okay, Okay, go off there, Chinese Shrug. That's awesome. And I mean, the sky's the limit right now for the University of Waterloo squad, who, as we said before, they showed up with just one familiar face in Vex, and the rest of the squad is looking pretty new and pretty dang good, if you ask me. So, very much a GG well played earned by both of these teams. But Jag, that's only game one of tonight. We have another best of series to bring to the CF1 fans. And after a break, guys, we're going to be bringing you SJSU, San Jose State University, taking on the University of Houston squad. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more college Valorant action and maybe a water after this. Welcome back to the stream, everybody. Beanies and Jag here as we just finished up a heck of a game one and an amazing way to start off the CF1 Valorant season. As University of Waterloo took down Ottawa in a heck of a close series 2-1. But we got to move forward. And when I say move forward, I mean move out west, because we just finished our Eastern matchup and now we're going over to the Western Division, Jag, where we're going to see two powerhouses with University of Houston and San Jose State University taking each other on.
Yeah, Ottawa was a bit of an unknown coming into this, was very impressive. Waterloo was a known quantity. We knew how good they were. These two teams are about the same. Both have been playoff contenders in the past. Both of them were in that spring playoff. University of Houston, they have been a runner-up in the past when it came to the fall season in 2020 when it was just a tournament. They were able to get, I believe, second place in that second kickoff tournament last season. Had a bit of a difficulty with some stuff, unfortunately got disqualified, but I'm sure they're back here to make a name for themselves, to kind of push that aside, leave it in the past, and move forward. Meanwhile, San Jose State, they were unfortunately paired up with UCI, the winners of last season, not only once in the playoffs, but twice. They faced them in the upper and lower bracket, and both times they lost that battle. Still were able to finish third place overall, so they got the bronze medal when it all was finished up, but this season they're going to be looking for gold.
Yeah, and I will say that the likes of San Jose State University did have Campus Clutch over the summer to keep themselves nice and warmed up and working as a unit, as they now have fall competition coming back into fruition. And San Jose State University is an incredible team to be able to watch. They were such a joy to see in that UCI San Jose State University semifinal, which, as we were talking before, I remembered it almost like it was a final because it was such intense competition that went to the 31st round, I want to say, maybe. So it was absolutely unbelievable tier of play, and I can't wait to see what the University of Houston squad brings out this year. And I actually want to say real quick, Eric Appleson from University of Houston reached out to me. He wanted to be known about some stats that happened not too recently, Jag. Can I share these with you real quick?
I would love it. Yes, please do.
Just the fact on October 3rd, University of Houston beat San Jose 2-0 in a best of 3. Just 2 days ago, they beat them 2-0. So, I mean, if that's anything to go by, we might be looking at University of Houston showing up, taking a broom, and just sweeping themselves on out.
That could be it, or we could see San Jose adapt and change their compositions, their strategy going into this. And once you know your opponent, you are able to kind of work around what you were doing wrong. This is a rematch, so I'm sure San Jose wants to, beat an opponent they lost to. I'm sure they feel that way about UCI, but weren't able to get it done then. But here, they have a chance to do it, a chance to open up Week 1 here in CF1 with a victory. So there is a lot on the line once again here. I think that's so interesting they just play each other. But we're going to see that map pool about what they're going to be playing today right now, because it's going to look a little bit different from what we just saw. Some familiar names of maps, but a few different ones as well. We're going to be looking at Bind first once again. Haven is going to be the second one instead, and then Ascent is going to be the tiebreaker if we need it. And I'm honestly really excited to see Haven in the map pool. I actually don't like playing it a ton because I feel like that third point is kind of out of place compared to the rest of the maps, but watching it is a treat.
Yeah, and you know what would have been a treat to watch, Jag? As I said like 2 minutes ago to you off screen, if we got Fracture in here, But nobody's going to play it yet. I hope one day I get a chance to call that in CF1, but maybe that day, or not maybe, that day is not today. But as you mentioned, Bind is going to be our first map. It is the map that was selected by University of Houston, so San Jose State got their side pick and they chose defense. So now going into that pick of San Jose State on defense, University of Houston on offense, one thing I really want to see from what we saw in our earlier games is if we're going to still see the likes of a Sky pick coming out. Because I know, Jag, you talked about the changes Sky got not too long ago, if she's still going to be picked nearly as often. And I want to see if we're going to see that trend continue with a pseudo meta in our in CF1 developing, with Sky continuously being thrown out onto Bind.
A lot of teams have just stuck with her and Jet, even though they're weaker, because they just practiced them for so long. I mean, the Sky meta has been around for what feels like forever now, and I don't think teams are really ready to experiment with KO just yet and try to throw him into the mix. I still think he's stronger, honestly, than Sky right now. Obviously, he doesn't have that heal, but I think he's really good. I mean, yeah, we saw him on Ascent, and he looked really, really good, especially his flash pings were incredible. I would say his other abilities, I mean, the 0 point is really good. That knife he throws out that gets a little bit of information about where people are, as well as silences them, is really good. But I think the key to his kit is that flash bang, and it is better, I would say, than Sky's Guiding Light at the moment.
Yeah, and when you have the, I guess I don't want to say the ability, but when you have the familiarity of maybe playing another game like Counter-Strike for a while, that flash comes very naturally to you when using it. It moves very similarly to how projectiles ran in that game. So seeing KO come out is something I think we could see a lot more of, or at least I'd hope we'd see a lot more of in the future. But yeah, as you said, KO still going to be on the back burner a bit here going into Bind. Now, not going to be looking for anything else too crazy, ideally, to come out from them. I know Kevin Choiboy, star player, amazing member of the San Jose State University lineup, loves that Cypher pick. I mean, time and time again last season, we saw Kevin Choiboy playing on that Cypher on the weak side as well and constantly getting value. And I think that's just something that could be really difficult to work back from UH, but that's yet left to be seen because UH was able to deal with that fine 2-0 just the other day.
Yeah, Cypher, it's always kind of a gamble of a pick because you want to commit to defense if that's the case. You said they played pretty well on weak side, and my guess is they were really good at protecting retakes, shutting down that site, making sure they had those tripwires and that camera up to stop the defenders from trying to rush in. Because usually on attack, besides your spy cam, you're just kind of another body as Cypher. You can't really do much in terms of abilities, but if you can hit your shots, then abilities be damned. Who really needs them anyway? But speaking of this matchup, we're just waiting a little bit longer for teams to get into lobby. And I think it's time we look again at that prize pool just to remind people what is being played for this season. This is the Radiant and Immortals prize pool. This is the league that we're looking at right now. There's another division. We have Diamond and below. We'll see those play later on the season, but the weekly round robin will only be focusing on the Radiant and Immortal teams.
Yeah, and CF1, the beautiful thing about it is after the first year, I should say, last year, where we had a good amount of teams competing colleges across the country and Canada, now it's just grown to such an enormous level that they are required to make these separate divisions just to make sure everybody's able to consistently play, get quality matches as well, not putting a diamond or a platinum team stuck against an immortal. So having the ability to really showcase these diamond teams and give them a chance to compete for real valuable money is an awesome opportunity for them. And we all know what we can expect from the Radiant and the Immortal squads in the finals based off last season. And that $7,000 prize pool is going to be hard fought for over these next 5 weeks. And then that finals weekend you see for both these divisions.
Yeah, I think it's not just from the finals. I think from what we saw in that last game, like these players have come to play and they really want to be, at the top of the pack, giving themselves the best chance to win part of that scholarship prize pool. Really quickly, I've been alerted that we have someone redeeming a shout out on stream. So damn out, this is your shout out. We appreciate your support for Conference 1. Thank you for being a part of our amazing community. We believe, I think they're from Waterloo as well. So great to see you returning face.
Demo, of course.
And, yeah.
All reliable, dude. Demo. I feel like Demo was the smokes player, I think, on Waterloo. I feel like I remember them on Omen quite a bit last year. Let me know in the chat if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll eat my words. But shout out to you, Demo. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Thanks for giving us that shout out. But I believe we're still waiting for one more player to get in. Do we have any update on the game? Yeah, we're waiting on one player to get in right now, so we just have a few more minutes of everybody getting situated. Gotta make sure you're ready to go. It's the first game of the CF1 season. Could be a little sweaty. Knees could be a little weak. Your arms could be feeling heavy. But that's why we have this warm-up time, so that they can get everything situated and they don't have to rush into this series and maybe start off on the wrong foot like, maybe we saw Waterloo do in that game 1 or that series 1.
Hopefully they're not warming up like Eminem, because that'd be very hard to replicate, especially if you're trying to do Rap God, but we'll see if those arms are heavy indeed. And, you got one thing to remember is that these are college students. They're not full-time esports athletes. They have full class schedules to deal with. I know when I was in college 2 years ago, it feels like a lifetime ago now, everything that's happened. I used to nap all the time, and I played actually Overwatch in college, and one time I did sleep through a game. So sometimes, you know, you got to be woken up by your teammates because you just took a nap a little bit too long. We're not actually sure if that's the reason why, but, you know, it happens. It happens from time to time, unfortunately.
I cannot believe you slept through a game. What? Do you have an alarm on your phone? Does it not work?
I do. I slept through it. I was so tired. I'm pretty sure, like, it was, like, around finals, and I think I just turned in, like, a really, like, long paper, and, like, it was probably, like, an all-nighter or something, so I just slept the entire day, and, you know, it happens. Unfortunately, that is the grind of being a college student, being a collegiate athlete. Sometimes your studies, you know, just wear you out a little bit too much.
Valid. I mean, that's the struggle of being a college esports athlete and a CF1 competitor. You got these amazing, talented players who have to put on their best shoes and their best performance week in, week out, and they're still managing to keep their studies and their grades up. And that's one of the commendable parts about all the competitors we have in CF1. Shout out to them. Shout out to you guys watching right now. A bunch of you are probably students watching. Make sure you get your homework done tonight, okay? Don't go to bed saying you're going to do it in the morning, because we all know you're not going to do it in the morning. So don't lie to me or you.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it now during the break. You can still hear our lovely voices and see our amazing faces while we still wait for that lobby to be set up in. We got confirmation. We're just waiting on, I believe, one person to restart their game, so hopefully they get back in there soon. It's really unfortunate. I mean, you know, sometimes your game just glitches out when you're trying to get into lobby. These kind of things happen. Thank you so much for bearing with us. We've got the great series ahead, and honestly, like, I feel like this kind of a lull period is actually making me more hyped for it, especially after that last game that went to map 3. I feel like this is just a great, like, you could not ask for a better opening night of CF1, honestly. I would have loved to see UCI and just, you know, if how they're doing, but other than that, like, this has been awesome.
It's the dramatic tension that's being built, you know, the unknown. It's like, when are they going to start? When's it going to happen? Who knows, kind of thing. And that just builds what we need, the dramatic tension. We lack that when we start on time. That's the beauty of when we start off of time. Nobody ever thinks about that, huh? But, you know, we may need a little more time to get this sorted out here, folks. So we're going to cut to a quick break. When we get back, Jag, Beanies, we're going to be talking about our matchup between SJSU and University of Houston. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back, and we'll bring you that best of 3.